The first one being, it's a layup. For 10,000, you're willing to change your wallpaper. What are the most wonky ones, the weirdest ones, the most cringe ones that you've had to make into your wallpaper? My setup is so nonsense. What in the world?
Okay, I don't think that worked very well. Hang on.
I
Oh, maybe
saw
it
that.
did.
Who was that? Who is this?
So this is Markiplier. So this one's actually done by Raylene. Hang on, I'm trying to make it fit, but I don't use this one. Oh wait, here we go. Hit the screen. Perfect.
There
So
you
this
go.
one's actually the Markiplier one that Raylene's done. This is my current wallpaper that
Easy.
I'm using at the moment.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen. The real deal, Holyfield. We got Tjbirrd in the studio. Is this a new angle, my man? Is this a new? I've never seen this.
No, it's the same one. Yeah.
Really? I think it's just because it's actual daylight. I think usually
It would be. Yeah.
that's the biggest issue. Dang. dang.
I've changed it up. Got the white light instead of the
Yeah.
blue light. Just a few little differences, but
I
yeah.
like it. It's crispy. There's something about it that's very forward thinking. He's kind of cute. Wow, adding the kinda. That's a little bit of an insult, in my opinion.
I've hit in the chat, so I didn't want to see anything as you said. So.
Good call. Good call. Finally, some people taking the advice. The thing is, after an hour, you're gonna get a little bit. You're gonna get very comfortable. You pull it up, and then you'll realize, oh gosh, it's a shit show.
It's a shit show.
I try my best to ignore it as well. But TJ, how was your day today? What you been up to?
My day's been pretty good. I jumped on this morning, did a little bit of work, and kind of I actually prepared for this a little bit. I
don't
had a look
like
over your questions.
What? What do you preparing for this?
Yeah, a little bit. I had a look over the questions, and I was just like, oh, look, we'll see what we got, and kind of have a little bit of a forward thought, I guess.
You're about to get curved real hard here, because what many don't understand is those questions are pretty like they're the base, right? They're the base to any soup. But much like with any soup you can create, you kind of throw some wild cards in there, follow up. So that's no gotcha questions by any means. And let me say this right before we even start. If there's any question that you don't feel comfortable answering, I have no problem. I have no problem moving on, and we go on forward with that. But with all that being said, my man, wait, what kind of work did you do today? You said you did a little bit of work. What work were you talking?
Just my regular day-to-day work. At the moment, answered a few emails and did a little bit of design work this morning, which was pretty much what I do every day. Yeah,
just a grown ass man. You're just a grown ass man, TJ. That's what I'm reading from across the seas here. But I usually start these shows off the same way, and I usually tell them how I've met them, whether they know it or not. How I've met them. And TJ, you were one of my late night binges of when I'm just, you were no raid.
Yo.
You were someone I intentionally clicked on because you were on my recommended. And I was like, who the hell is TJ?
That's interesting. That's really interesting. Wow.
Yeah, well, the thing is, to be fair, the New Zealand and Australian communities, your guys' stream times are much early in the morning for us in the States. However, I do notice there was some crossover, so I did notice, I was like, holy shit, I've seen this name before. And I don't know if it was Megs, but I know for sure it was Crewy. I saw your name. And then I started kind of lurking your streams where I was like, I'm trying to understand what's going on with this man. Who is he? What is he beyond? And the point, this is going to be ridiculous because we'll cover this later. The point that really made it connecting the dots, because I really don't know who fucks with who on Twitch. I really don't know. In fairness, fair enough. That's it is what it is. But I heard the diss track that was created, and I had to. And I was like, "Who are you making this for, Charlie? What the hell is this for?" And Charlie's friend, I forgot Charlie's friend's name, and it's Tjbirrd, and they were practicing. They were practicing over there, and I legitimately cried laughing because of how it's both a combination of it's a little bit whack. But the last 30 seconds won me over. And we'll cover that later. But TJ, honestly,
sure.
I started watching you more consistently. I saw your hair stream, whether you know that I was watching or not. How do you feel that went, by the way? Do you feel you got the good color that you wanted? Or did you feel you should have gotten a little bit more? What were you going for? Purple, blonde, silver?
I was going for the ninja blue. That was the idea of it.
Okay.
But turns out I think you need to go for more of like a permanent solution for like the blue that he has.
Yeah.
And so we didn't end up achieving that, unfortunately.
Mhm.
But it ended up turning out pretty good. It's like you can't really see it that much on camera, but it's got
Mm.
more of like a silverish sort of blue at the moment.
Yeah.
And it's just slowly fading back into like a light blonde at the moment, which looks really
Mhm.
cool. So I'm really happy with it actually.
It matches your
Um,
aesthetic right now. That's the crazy
yeah,
part.
exactly.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing for it. That's why I wanted to do blue because like I don't know. I feel like my whole theme is like that light sort of blue, so
Mhm.
it
Mhm.
works out. It does work well.
I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Especially, and I'm just gonna geek over your setup right now too. I love your equipment, dude. You from the
I
chairs to
appreciate
the
that.
mics.
Thank you.
No, I gotta gas you up on that. Not enough. That's while it's it's big in terms of quality of and production value. I think people also don't understand like the investment in it is also huge, and so you're rocking it all, and as well as the plants. Are they fake? You gotta tell me right now. Those
Oh
plants,
God, yeah. No,
100%.
I can't even look after myself, never alone a plant. Like no chance.
All right, we got him, boys. We got him. All right, we found out phony there, phony plants.
I've been
I don't
called
know,
out.
but aside from that, TJ, I always knew. See, there are people on Twitch that I have a running list on my spreadsheet of future guests, and I categorize it in three ways. I have guests that I want on, guests that have soft agreed, and guests that are already booked. And I was there for your stream again, whether you know it or not. I was there the moment I sent you the invite.
Yep.
Because I was
on top
like,
of
is
it.
this man gonna out me? But not that it's a surprise. You could tell whoever you want. But
Yeah.
I sent it. I had your stream on my other monitor, and I kid you not, guys. I see him look into the camera. He goes, "Ooh, I got a little invite to a podcast." And then someone over your community goes, "Oh, is it you got dinner with moms or something like that?" And you're like, perhaps. I don't know. And I was like, "Oh my goodness, this man is already opening his gifts before Christmas." But honestly, TJ, very happy to have you on here.
No, thank you for having me. It's an honor.
Oh God. I don't. Oh
no,
my.
the
That's
famous
the
Moms
weirdest.
podcast.
The
It's an honor to be here, honestly.
Let me get 50, and then we'll call it famous. For now, this is just
all right, for sure.
This is a moment like between both of us. I really wanted to get to know you more, even before having you on or even inviting you. I knew that you were someone that I was like, oh man, he'd be interesting to talk to, regardless of this on the show or in general. So the first thing is this, Mr. TJ. How long have you had your Twitch account in general?
So I like to consider myself a little bit of an OG on Twitch, I'd say. The account that I stream on at the moment, I've had since August of 2012.
Wow.
So it's been a long time. I don't know if that was Justin TV days or not. I think it just switched over to Twitch, but it was around that sort of time.
And how did you come up with the name?
So Tjbird's my actual name. So I don't have any creativity in that at all. My initial name that was like sort of my alias, I guess, was just my name with 123 on the end of it. And I sort of wanted to phase away from the numbers because, as we all know, like numbers are kind of cringe in a name.
Sure.
And so I dropped the numbers and then added an extra R because I couldn't get just the single R.
Tjbirrd. Yeah, I feel it. So you say you joined in 2012. What got you to make an account on Twitch?
I was watching a lot of Minecraft, so a few people know I'm a bit of a Minecraft Andy. And I started watching a YouTuber by the name of John Bams, and he at the time was only about a 5,000 subscriber YouTube channel. And I just watched him consistently, and then he said, "I'm switching over to Twitch and going to start live streaming." And this was a new concept at the time. YouTubers didn't really stream on Twitch at all. And I remember seeing it. I was like, "What's this all about?" So I ended up checking out the Twitch channel. And he had like 5 or 6 viewers at the time, and I was one of them. And I set up an account just so I could talk and chat. I even messaged him and was like, "Hey, how do I go about starting up my own stream? I only have a Mac laptop, so I can't really do too much at all. I can't really like stream unless I got a capture card or something." But nowadays he's actually a streamer with up to I think 15,000 viewers concurrent now.
Yeah, awesome.
So he's been on the platform for that long. But I like to say that like he was the sort of person that got me onto Twitch and switched me over from YouTube and went to check out
really
the platform.
That's really cool. Being on Twitch, it's 2020, and so that's a strong 8 years. Were you always on this, or did you have a break, or how did your relationship with Twitch go?
I say like I've always like been around Twitch. Like I wouldn't say I've like consistently watched Twitch the entire 8 years.
Yeah.
I think in the last like 2 or 3 years specifically, I started watching a lot more Twitch. I'd say around like the 2015 mark, I started watching it a bit more regularly, but like in the last 6 to 12 months, I've just watched it every day. But back then, I guess it was like maybe every so often, if I was bored of YouTube, I'd go and switch over to Twitch or something and have a look. But back then, no, not really. It was like I'd watch 1 or 2 streamers for like a little bit, and that was it.
And were
Yeah.
these streamers mainly bigger streamers, mainly gamer streamers, or did you get into that world of just chatting early on as well?
I think early on I watched a lot more gaming streams. And then I got into esports pretty heavily in 2015, 2016.
Mm.
And started watching a lot of like competitive Counter-Strike games and stuff like that. And then I guess sort of like branched out from there and started watching like different individual streamers and seeing what they were doing on the platform. And then started watching just chatting streamers and different sort of streamers in Australia and the community. And then switched over to that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, having your account created in 2012, when did you start streaming?
So I actually did my first ever like I'd say test stream because I was creating like YouTube videos on YouTube back in like 2012-ish, I think. And I was like testing out and seeing how it would go. And then I did my first ever Twitch stream after setting up the account and learning all the software and how to do it on a Mac. I think it was like Adobe Media Encoder or something that I actually streamed from back then. It was January 2nd, 2013 was when I gave it a test, and it was 0 views.
Yeah. And so, okay, and that's fair. But I think that's a good point to be made. Like, so many people hype up streaming in their mind. They're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going live in front of people, when there's an assumption that people want to watch you. Like, you don't exist yet. You need to start before you can really get anywhere.
That's right.
So I like that you kind of had that realization when first going live. So, you started in 2013. What was your content back then? What did you do? Who was TJ back then?
Shockingly, Minecrafter.
So it's full circle then. It sounds like
it has gone full circle. Yeah, I was no, Minecraft was definitely my main game back when I was a youngling. I did like make Minecraft YouTube videos like I think every 12, 13-year-old did at the time. And then I switched over to playing Counter-Strike around my 2014. And I think I may have done like the odd stream in 2014, 2015, like of Counter-Strike, just me playing with friends, but that was about it. Yeah. But no, the first one would have definitely been a Minecraft one.
What made you even go live? What made you decide to, you know what, I'm going to go from, because that's a big shift, going from a viewer and a fan and someone who's just partaking in Twitch from being a chatter standpoint to what you're doing today. What was that moment?
I think it was like exploring like new content at the time. Like, as I said, Twitch was like very much a new platform. Like, live streaming video games at the time was not really a common thing at all. It was like everything that was like gaming content related was on YouTube. Or I think there was another one as well, but anyway. And then seeing this like John Bam guy come over and stream on Twitch, I was like, hey, this is actually a really cool new way of like interacting with your audience in a live sort of setting. And so I was just like, hey, I might as well fire up the stream. And if we have people in the chat come in, they can. And that just reminded me actually, around that sort of time as well, I was doing a lot of digital art for Minecraft YouTubers. So that was sort of like my way into the door and like sort of getting to know some of these content creators that were big at the time. And I remember doing like the odd stream on my Twitch where I would like load up Photoshop and start drawing with my digital tablet. And I remember like there was a YouTuber / streamer at the time called Gold Solace, and he was a big like 200, 300,000 subscriber YouTuber. And he actually shouted out my Twitch stream. And this was the first ever time that I got 20 viewers or 30 viewers on Twitch. And I just remember the shock in the chat and seeing the chat move like extremely fast for the first time. Like, this is a 14, 15-year-old boy seeing the chat go fast. And I couldn't believe it. Yeah. And he's actually a really cool guy. And I'm actually happy that I've stayed in touch with him somewhat over those years. But that's it's pretty cool.
You know, and I think that's a feeling that people, as they grow on Twitch, take for granted. And I'll even be one of that, where it's like, I'm trying to focus on being more appreciative. And those moments that you're sharing are so cool, because our first time having a chat that's moving and being active and that feeling, that semblance of community. and being able to capitalize it and be like, yeah, well, this is who I am. I did that cool thing that brought you here, but how do I keep you and retain you and build a relationship with you? And that's really awesome that you've been. I don't see a lot of people will be like, oh, that's the kind of luck I'm talking about. But TJ, you worked for that. You worked for that. You're networking. You're putting your talents forward. That's very big, and not enough people are willing to talk about that or put that as a forefront. I don't believe that's luck. That's hard work. So good on you to put yourself out there and your content out there. I didn't know you did graphic design. I need to check out some of your stuff.
Yeah, I can touch on that a little bit later. I think we're talking about the career a bit later.
Totally.
Yeah, for sure.
Let me see here. So, you start streaming. What was it? I guess, where did it click in your mind to start streaming consistently and making this a bigger part of your life?
Honestly, like, I think 8 to 9 months ago, I moved interstate and I finally had a home where I could actually stream with good internet. So my old place back in Queensland, I couldn't actually stream with good enough internet, so I moved here. And streaming's always been one of those things where it's like, it seems like a pretty simple, straightforward content creation where you don't have to require that much edit in terms of like post-production and video editing and all that sort of stuff, where you could just create content on the go and then you're done for the night. It's like clock in, clock out, and then you're done. And I've always had an interest in it, and finally being able to do that when moving to New South Wales. I'll touch on this later. But I don't know. I saw a lot of I started getting how do I say this, like sort of invested in the different communities around like this sort of area in like the OCE space especially. Brody was a big one that I started watching, and I was just like, hey, this guy, he somehow manages to fit in a full-time job every day and then come home at 8 o'clock, jump on stream, and then stream until midnight and do that every single day consecutively. And I was really impressed by it, and it was actually inspiring. And I'm going to have to say, like, Brody was the one that inspired me to actually jump on Twitch and start streaming and do it consistently.
Yeah. A lot, and I'm not trying to bundle you up with these people, but a lot of people have said that. And, that's really cool to hear it from each of you individually. Because when you say those kind of words of Brody, the first thing I think about is, who knows, those same words could be said to you and I. Who knows the kind of impact that people make just by the way they're living. And that's why I'm very wary, especially with those that are going to be on stream, that you got to come correct. You got to be careful with your voice, because based off of this, which is, to be honest, if we want to break the fourth wall, no one's better than the other. We're all the same people. But it's one of those things that, because of the camera and the lights and all that, for some reason, that person's voice carries weight. And so that's really awesome to see, I guess, your inspiration or the things that motivate you and drive you into being a streamer and making it a bigger part of your life. I assume that the main goal is to somehow incorporate this as a kind of a full-time gig. It seems to be across the board. Or is this something you'd like to just keep as a hobby?
I think for me, like, personally, I really enjoy the hobby aspect to it, honestly.
Yeah.
I've always had like a passion for creating content. I don't see myself like moving into unless the opportunity presents itself and I keep working at it and so on and so forth. But I don't know. I have more of a further passion in doing other things like creating businesses and working on apparel, which is like my current full-time position. And I guess like if I keep streaming as a hobby and then it goes well and I put the amount of effort into, then so be it. Yeah.
Beautiful. This man, you are right. You did prepare for this shit. All right. Hi guys, I'm Tjbirrd, and this is this man is he's clearly been in a lot of interviews. But he's clearly, no, all right, at least phone calls.
Yeah, well, for sure.
TJ, here's the thing, all right? This is the part of the show where it's time to loosen up the tie, all right? We can't get too formal all the time. We can't get too businessy. So I have your stream up, all right? Which, by the way, thank you for the host. I appreciate that, but I'm gonna have to pause it real quick because I'm on your page, and really I'm going through your channel points, and there's only one there's two that I have a big question about, or I would love for you to explain. Actually, let's go with three. The first one being, it's a layup. For 10,000, you're willing to change your wallpaper. What are the most wonky ones, the weirdest ones, the most cringe ones that you've had to make into your wallpaper?
Oh my
as
god,
of
I can
recent.
actually show you this. Hang on. This will
Go
be some
ahead.
tricky magic, but I can actually show you this right now. All right, I've got one of them here. Um, actually do some cheeky stuff here. Give me a
Can you
sec.
show it on your stream? Do
I
you have?
can actually.
Oh
I
heck
can.
yeah, dude! Oh, you saved my life, dude.
Um,
I'm balancing all these windows on a tether right now. This is my setup is so nonsense. What in the world?
okay, I don't think that worked very well. Hang on.
I
Oh, maybe
saw
it did.
that. Who was that? Who is this?
So this is Markiplier. So this one's actually done by Raylene. Hang on, I'm trying to make it fit, but it's I don't use this one. Oh wait, here we go. Hit the screen. Perfect.
There
So
you
this
go.
one's actually the Markiplier one that Raylene's done. This is my current wallpaper that
Easy.
I'm using at the moment. um
Yeah.
and then I think the other one that stayed as my wallpaper for a very long time
Yeah.
would have to be this one. And I
Shoot.
feel like this one's pretty damn funny.
It says Voss drinker, literate, creative, partnership, CEO, Bird 2020. Follow. Oh my god.
So I feel
You-
like a lot of my community create
Yeah.
photoshops and everything that end up being my wallpaper. And
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
the aspect where they actually take that extra step forward and be creative about it and not just download a Google image and actually
I
do
agree.
something funny with it. And I think it's great. I love it.
Yeah. You look like you're part of the Young Republicans Club. You look like you're a MAGA supporter here in the States, dude. All right.
I'm gonna happily decline any responses regarding the political situation that is the United States of America at the moment. I'm okay
Hey.
with that. I'm good. I'll pass.
I know that's the only true gotcha. That's the only true gotcha. I got you. But I did see that. I was like, holy shit. Okay. I don't know where I've seen that photo before, but I know I've seen the photo. I have not seen the edited versions. That's really cool. That someone made that, dude. I'm a believer of that too. I think someone drew a scuff photo of me, and I was like, that's still sick. I don't care. Like, you hand drew this.
It's funny. Yeah, it's great.
I'll say I have it saved in a photo. For 30K, dude, for 30K, TJ, you're willing to call your mom. And I'm very curious. It says TJ calls Mama Bird to say how much he loves her. Reward idea is Brody. Here's the thing. All right. I have such a tizzy, like anxiety, calling my parents, let alone doing that on stream. Okay. So how are you? Well, tell me about these conversations. Are you calling them late at night? Are you calling your mom late at night? Is the conversation odd? Are you pressured when people are watching you? How's this going?
Nah, not at all. I feel like myself and my family have really good connections. I'm quite close with my mom, my dad, my sister. And it's I don't know. My mom's very active in my chat. She likes hanging out in the chat. She likes saying the odd hello to my like regular viewers in my community, and like she's in my Discord as well. Like I feel like I'm extremely fortunate to be able to have such supporting parents in the sense that they understand or are willing to learn and understand the sort of Twitch community and the understanding of how the entire gaming world works. And I've been doing it for 5-6 years now plus. And the fact that they've been willing to like sort of take it all in and ask questions about certain things. And I thought that was a really nice one so that like the community could hear the voice behind the chat member and ask embarrassing questions that they wanted to, and ask like what sort of kid was TJ or stuff like that. And I really love that. I think it's great, and I think it adds a nice flair to the stream and a bit of a wholesomeness to it as well.
Has she embarrassed you on stream? Has she done any of the, of course not. Like, for example, what happened?
I think one time she mentioned she was cleaning up my bedroom at the house that I grew up in, and she found a stuffed toy that I had, and she said the name of it on stream and explained it. And the way she worded it as well was quite something, but it ended up being pretty funny, and we did laugh it off. But it was
What's the name?
I fucking knew this was the follow-up question.
Why is there?
Sorry.
Why? Yeah.
Did
Why?
I swear? Is that good? Yeah, that's
you
fine.
can do whatever you want. You can do whatever.
Cool,
you
cool.
want. I got no problem.
All right.
As long as it's not TOS, you're fine. You're fine. Yeah.
Bit of a sailor mouth on me.
No.
It was like I've had this. I had this this stuffed animal toy thingy since I was like essentially born, I think.
Okay.
Or 1 year old, and it was like this little rainbow colored worm, which was like I'd say that big. And it was just like a a stuffed animal. It was called
Yeah.
Worm. That was all it was. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. And that's how she described it. And I was fucking called out on stream. And it was funny as fuck. It was so good.
Got a rainbow
it was actually
worm
funny.
called
The
Worm.
rainbow worm.
The lack of originality, TJ, is bothersome to me. And then for somehow I'm supposed to talk about your, digital design stuff, which is supposed to be oozing with creativity. I don't know how those things are going to correlate. We'll figure it out later in the show. All right.
Irony is very funny. Yeah.
I do notice you have a weird gap between your 50,000 and 150,000. Do you plan on something in between there?
Yes. So I had a 100,000 reward, which was the first person to receive that. My housemate will crack an egg on my head. Because I thought it would be nice to follow the theme of the birds and the eggs and everything like that.
Yeah.
And so I had a 100K one where as soon as it hit 100K, I got an egg cracked in my head. And I thought that what we're going to do with this is whenever someone hits it, or if someone hits it, then I could do a plan stream where I like lay out a tarp in my room, or I could do everything like that. But the person that actually ended up hitting the 100K was my housemate, which led to him hitting the reward in the stream while I was playing Fall Guys with Crewy and Megs.
Yeah.
And next thing I know, my door bursts open. He's got 3 eggs in his hand.
Oh my God.
Bang, 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 and just on top of me. And then someone else was standing at the door as well with spare eggs just to throw at me. And this egg went flying everywhere.
Yeah.
And all you can hear in the background of Crewy, and I think Megas was streaming as well, was just me screaming and moaning. And it's currently my Discord banner. A photo of me with the eggs splattered all over my head, which is pretty good.
I actually found that clip. The thing is, I said this before, it is so hard going through your clip. You got so much music, so I've had to condense it. But we are able. We got some clips there later, but that was fantastic. I saw that. That was brutal. Like, a part of me kind of cringed because I was like, even I know I would not want that raw egg on me, and heaven forbid that getting on anything else. But that was good
worst
stuff.
part was too, it was an hour or so into stream, or 2 hours, and then I think I got to the point where like I was just feeling so disgusting that I'm like, I'm gonna have to come back and stream later. I can't do this right now. I have to cut stream out now. I have to go to shower and do all that sort of, like, I don't want to sit here and have like rotten egg like sort of just sit in my hair for the next 2 hours and have like headphones on. Like I'm not doing that. So I had to go and have a shower and then reset it. Yeah.
Fair. Fine. All right. So I mean, and then the last channel point I got is the highest one, 150,000 points. You have lifetime VIP. That's a big statement, and that's an achievable goal. Why don't you tell me about what was your mindset of picking that number and picking that prize?
So when the channel points were introduced, I think I just started streaming at the time. So I don't think I really, like, it's hard because you have to change the points prices depending on where you are as a streamer. If you're a bigger streamer, you have to higher the prices. If you're a smaller streamer, you have to lower the prices just so they're more achievable for viewers.
Yeah.
And that 150K one was set the day I started streaming. I think either when the channel points came in, or when I started streaming. And so that's the reason it's still there. No one's redeemed it yet. Either the people that have 150K points are already VIP, or just no one's redeemed that one because they redeemed something else or smaller ones instead. So the first person that redeems that one will get it, and then I'm looking to replace that one and then the 100K one at some point. I just got to come up with something that's creative.
What would you okay, so you don't know what you want to replace the VIP.
I'm not too sure just yet. No.
And you're only going to have one lifetime VIP.
That's the plan, unless I bring it back another time, or there's a few different ways you can do VIP on Twitch. I know there's a few systems where people steal the VIP. There's one lifetime VIP. There's a few different ways, and I think that's the way I'm going to start it, and then maybe move to one where you can steal it later on. I think that's my idea.
Nice. I like that. All right, and as I pull up other this stuff here. All right, that's it. That's everything for the the channel points. All right, TJ. Very easy. You see this? It's a walk in the park.
Yeah, simple stuff.
Nothing. No, there's no traps. There's no traps here. But here's the thing, TJ. That's the layup. For some reason, I pull up your clips, and I have a couple. I just have a couple I would like to be told what's going on here. I have no idea. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to switch over to cams real quick. Hold on. And we're just going to start off with something simple here. We're going to start off something simple. and let's give it a listen. Make sure the thing is all the way. Let's
Yeah,
give it a
okay.
listen here.
What is this?
Please, Sat, Mr. TJ, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Oh no.
The results have come in, and I'm sorry to tell you, but you have a blooditis. This caused by the thickness to your name. Obtained
Legitimately, you fuck.
No more fake and no more Yeezys, and you will be cured of blooditis. You flexing Andy and hide the bag you don't shop at Target and give 10 tags.
10 tier 3. I saw that in your channel earlier. You fucking teasers.
Spent. Not doing this will result in more gloating from the boys.
So explain to me, TJ, what is the backstory behind this clip? What is going on here?
Okay, if I was to give you to choose one streamer in the community who you think would have commissioned someone to make that.
Oh, it's hands down
guess.
See It, Charlie. It's hands down. It has to be, right?
It is 100%
Thank
See It,
you.
Charlie. So Charlie, I think Charlie made a stream where Charlie's a genius. He's actually a genius.
Yes.
I have mad respect for the content that he comes up with, and he's very, very clever. And he came up with a stream, I believe, where he went on Fiverr or something like that and broke down like I think he did one for Tunks, I think he did one for Crewy, and I think he did one for me as well. I'm not too sure who else he did one for.
Yeah,
but
I love
that
it.
was the one that he did for me, and he wrote the script with his chat for that video, and I think he did one for all the other guys as well. So they have their versions, and that was the one that was for me with that. And I could not believe it when I saw it. I was just like, this is way too good to be true. It is very funny.
But,
yeah.
It's first of all, I would love this gift. This is so funny. I think there was like, what does it remind me of? There's another meme that it reminds me of, but it's just so random. When I stumbled upon this, I prayed there was no music in the background because I wanted to share. And I sent it to you at a time. I was like, yo, is this cool? Because of how it's such a good bit. It's clearly in a joking manner. But I could not get enough of this. It was so creative. And I think that's the kind of thing is, the thing is, TJ, if there's something I've learned, all right, I read this book in marketing called Controversy Creates Cash. And this little thing between you and See It, Charlie, I think you gotta throw it back at him, all right? And we'll get to that later, but you can't stop at this, all right? It can't stop at him having this laugh. So we have that clip here, and that was great. But let's move on to this one. And it says breaking the fourth wall. And, this guy looks familiar, but we'll give it a look. And I'll have to stop it right around here because there's music. But let's give it a look, all right?
Look at the top of his head. Look at his lips.
I'm sorry, James.
Okay, got it behind it. So explain to me. Hold on, let's get this angle. This man, first of all, your laugh, hysterical, my man. I thought a car was starting outside when I heard that. I was like, is my car coming out of gas, my guy? This man is, what's up?
Oh, that's not my laugh in the background, by the way.
Oh, who is that?
That's the original like Pepe laugh, like look at the top of his head meme. And so what I did is I brought up a YouTube video on my other screen and put that over the top of it because I think one of my subscribers linked to that video of me, of Crewy to me. And so I put that and I'm like, wait, what is he doing? And so I ended up putting that YouTube video overlay over the top. So I'm just losing it like quietly. Yeah. That video like in the background is what's carrying that
I
clip.
thought that was you the whole time. I was like, holy shit, that's a fantastic laugh. But so Crewy has this sex face going on here. I'm not very sure how you want to define this. I believe this is pre-strep, maybe post. And it's pretty. Oh, hey, there he is. There he Look who shows up. He just says, what the fuck is this? So explain to me, TJ, why did this happen on your stream? What is this whole context behind this clip?
So I don't know too much of the context of this clip. So I didn't film this. This wasn't mine. I had someone send it to me, and it was of Korea at GG Easy Bar in Melbourne. God knows when. I assume it was either an event or some Melbourne Twitch meetup or something like that.
Okay.
And I think James was just being filmed while he was just vibing to some music. And I just thought it was the perfect opportunity to show up it on stream. And I was just like, oh God, look at this video. And then put the audio in the background, which I thought was pretty funny.
It was very specific. You guys wanted to look at his head. I'm not very sure what we're looking for, but this man was he's full in it. He's full in it. He was going Fortnite dance mode. But and then you have the audacity to apologize, but allow this to keep running for another 15 seconds over.
Sounds like me, to be honest. Just like, sorry, but I've got to keep it going.
Oh, it's great content. It was great content.
Exactly.
That was fantastic. That's awesome. So, I mean, of course, those are the clips. But again, see, that's not hot enough. That's not hot enough. I put Cruy on the spot. I put a little bit of you on the spot. But as I said before, there is one last thing. This is not even a clip, all right? I had to ask the creators of this directly to approve me playing it because, I didn't want any copyright, all right? And I have the creator here today. We have here a diss track, and I just want to hear it once, and I just want to hear your take, as well as what your rebuttal is in the future, all right, TJ? That's it. There's nothing more. But this came from a nasty place, all right? This came from a nasty. Oh, look, he's threatening me on my way to DMCA. Unbelievable. Snitches, man.
Charlie kid, out of control.
Yeah, he's gonna sue me for all the gifted that he just gave.
You're getting DMCA striked you'll be getting a letter from my lawyer.
Yeah. Am I allowed? Hey, Charlie, I want it in the chat. I want it saying that I'm allowed to play this. All right, here we go. Let's give it a one-time listen. In minute 42.
Mr. TJ, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. I'm sorry to tell you, but you are a blood item. This caused by the thickness to your name obtained illegitimately. No more break giving to and no more Yeezys.
Tjbirrd is about to get parred. His name would be cool if it had one. Fake badge, fake chat. Nicole said your breath smell whack. You made Minecraft edits for YouTube. No girl gonna let you near her tubes. Crewmate for 10 games. Never be as funny as James. Virgin at 30. It's Tjbirrd. Ain't no girl gonna let you get dirty. Go remember, Pickle Gang, give your hair back, cause 2013 rang.
Tjbirrd is a fraud. All he does is mold.
Just mean, TJ. These guys are after you.
Yeah.
Drinking too much booze. You know you're gonna lose.
They go hard as well, and it's great.
You'll get nudes.
Here comes the part.
This is my caliber.
That was a good change of pace.
Streaming and go back to Crewey's janitor.
Oh my goodness.
TJ, what you doing? Looking like a fool. Yeah, you can't even diss me cause you'll sound like a tool.
Yo, TJ's content type beat.
Round 2, fight.
The ending just makes 0 sense at all. It just goes entirely chaotic and makes fucking no sense whatsoever. And it's just pure garbage in audio form at the end.
Oh, shoot. Wait. Oh, gosh. Wait, what's going on? Oh, my gosh. That got me going so much. When I heard this at 5 a.m., and I legitimately got out of my bed to laugh because it was just, I bent over being like, holy cow, that last 30 seconds was everything I needed to know. But TJ, tell me your initial thoughts. Tell me what you thought about the song and tell me what you're going to do about it, all right?
All right, so I actually thought it was very well written. I actually rate the fuck out of it. I thought it was sick. They've done a really good job. Bank, who's the producer of it, he did an insane job of writing the back, or like creating the backtrack for it. And then I think Charlie and Bank both together with their chat came up with the lyrics for it. I think it's fire, and I want to come back at Charlie just as hard. I've spoken to Cruey, and we have discussed potentially doing a collab to just flame the shit out of Charlie, but that is TBD.
You hear that? I just want Charlie to be on notice right now, all right, my man? You better have eyes in the back of your head. You want to come on, Charlie? Oh, boy. All right. But no, I'm excited for that, TJ. Honestly, if you guys weren't doing that, I would 100% have made that a bit because that is so good. The rap battles, not enough of that. Not enough of planned rap battle content. That's so fire. I think that's original. That's funny. especially if it's between good friends. You know, it's coming from a place of
That's
love.
great. Yeah.
When I heard it, by no means did I think I was like, oh, this is an attack. He's head and heads. It was more like, okay, I could tell that this is a labor of love, especially the last 30 seconds. So disrespectful. I just sat there. I was like, holy cow. I went to your page right after. I was like, I just need to watch this guy for a little bit. All right. I need to soak in with that after that fucking bamboozlement of an attack there. But that's everything there, Mr. TJC. Again, very easy, very, very simple. But now we're going to transition back into your streamer life. And I'm going to ask you some questions that are very introspective. I'm going to ask you things that have occurred during your streaming career thus far, all right? So the first question I have is, what have you learned about yourself, TJ, through streaming?
Like about myself individually, I
Mhm.
feel like this is the one that I actually got stumped on as a question when I looked over the sheet. I feel like with myself personally, I've discovered how much like I need to become a better storyteller. I think that's my main problem with Twitch, and how I can improve as a content creator when it comes to storytelling, and being able to, I don't know, like I guess like explain things and create moments in that sort of sense. Yeah, I don't know. This one, as I said, like this one like kind of really stumped me as a question. I know like learning about streaming though, like I learned that like you definitely need to be a lot more prepared as a streamer. There's a lot of sort of like back end content creation, like planning, and like a lot more that like you don't see streamers do on the front end. There's a lot of back end planning and organization that comes from streamers. Yeah.
Very much so. I 100% agree. Very interesting you chose storytelling. That's something that's very dear to my heart. How did you find out that that's a place where you'd like to improve or you needed to improve?
I think like creating a storyline. So I see a lot of Twitch streams as a story and a narrative in their own right. Every single like popular and like top streamer that you know of, you can tell me who their girlfriend is, where they grew up, what sort of school life they had, like what sort of kid were they, what's an inside joke with their memes. Like you look at Ludwig, he's a taxpayer that had an English major and like a tax avoider or whatever, and he's an English major and he's like a stand-up comedian, stuff like that. Like you create a story and a timeline and characters around your stream, which is such a crucial and important part about streaming, and being able to like grow that narrative grows your stream at the same time, which is something that I kind of want to work on a bit of a narrative for myself, and being able to tell my story through my stream, through creating jokes and creating like content that reflects that, and people being able to recognize me and go, hey, there's that TJ guy that does this and that and is known for this and known for that and is like this at school and that sort of shit. So that's sort of what I'm trying to work on myself personally in development.
That's actually very interesting you mentioned that. I had someone on here, his name was View Above, and his is specifically storytelling through Minecraft. And I think that is a very untapped area on Twitch, whether it be Minecraft or any game or whatever you're doing. Because the thing about storytelling, and what I would like to empower you on and encourage you on, that is that it creates a natural investment for your community. Because it's now not just you as a person, now it's about all the stuff surrounding you as a human. That's why like it's interesting because we grew up on the internet and we're told by our parents, don't share info about yourself on the internet. But there is, and that still holds true. You're not going to show everything about you on the internet, but to share about your personal life, to share about your struggles and the things that that you've both failed and succeeded, to share a little bit about the lore of who you are and those around you and the relationships around you, I think are paramount in people being able to, I think the word is not just understand, but empathize. And just it's a deeper investment. It's more than just like, hey, I like this guy, but hey, I want this guy to succeed. This is someone, because there's something about people who watch Twitch. There's a deep rooted loyalty and love for their streamer, and that's so freaking cool to watch. That's one of the biggest things that draws me on this platform, and I see that in the OC community. I see that all over Australia and New Zealand. You guys are so tight knit with your people, and it's so refreshing to watch because a little bit in the States that isn't the case. And with you specifically, TJ, especially the past few streams, I watched you. When you were dyeing your hair and you had another person also helping you out there, you're interacting with them, you're talking. It was such a great flow, and that's something that I do. I don't want to use the word judge, but I do regard very highly on a stream. And I think that really separates the men from the boys, the adults from the kids in terms of streaming. So right on, man. No, you got my full respect there. That question is tough. That question is tough because it puts you in a precarious situation. But I think you've answered it beautifully with storytelling there. Let's go with this. How would you describe your streaming style, though?
That's like back to back, sort of like intense questions.
You
are ramping it up the more you go along. I think with mine, like the sort of angle that I like to push with my stream, like you commented at the very, very start of the show that I have done quite a bit of an investment in terms of my stream production and setup. Yeah. And as someone that strives for the highest possible quality in nearly everything that I do, everything that I put out, everything that I create, everything that I do, I want to be the highest quality possible. I'm a bit of a perfectionist. It's an art to pretty much everything. And when it comes to my stream, I started with a Blue Yeti and I'm like, how quickly can I improve that and switch over to a Shure just so I have the best sounding mic possible? I don't want people to jump into my stream and say like, oh, this mic doesn't sound very nice to listen to. I don't particularly want to listen to that anymore and things like that. So I'm always working towards creating the highest quality possible content for my stream and my content across different platforms as well, outside of Twitch as well. And the other thing as well is like, I see my stream specifically, or myself personally, as a content creator as opposed to just a streamer on Twitch. I think there's a major difference between the two definitions in the sense that one's a content creator that will actually set out planned content, organize said content, and actually create that content and create a story and a challenge or an idea where people can be invested into. Be it a stream where you have to try and achieve something by the end of that stream, and your viewers and everyone that's watching are actually invested in it and look into it and can follow along with that storyline. Whereas there's also other people that just enjoy the idea of streaming for just streaming and what it is, like jumping on every day for eight or so hours and just sort of streaming whatever they want to do. That be gaming with their friends or doing whatever the heck they want. So I would definitely see. Sorry, I'm hogging the mic here.
No, please, keep going.
I definitely see myself as someone that wants to aspire to be a content creator in the aspect that I love the idea of actually like planning out an idea, planning out like a story for a stream or a video, creating that story, creating something that's like engaging and then that like viewers and the audience can interact with and be a part of. Some of the ones I've done recently is a game under the lines where people will use a channel point reward to choose a word that I can't say. And if I say said word, I have to donate a sub back to the channel. And I made a whole video out of it. And it's great because like the whole chat can just listen in there. I'm not only just playing a game, I'm actually sitting there and the whole chat's listening like, wait, how do we get him to say the word? How can we have our contribution to this idea and this content? And I really, really, really love that as a content creation sort of technique. And I look forward to doing more of that in the future and expanding on that and seeing what else I can do and be a bit innovative with it as well. So that's sort of where I see myself as like as a style and what I do as a streamer.
I 100% agree with you. That's the thing is like you've said it beautifully, and it's something that I've really tried to tell my team and all my friends around me that are streamers. That are streaming on Twitch, that there is a very big difference between being a content creator and a streamer. A streamer is someone who can press the go live and at the bare minimum exist and just hang out and do whatever. A content creator is someone being intentional with their time on Twitch or other platforms. They're creating something. And the biggest thing, and I want to also reinforce and support your statements with a new idea, is saying that you also have to consider it as, what am I providing to the people that are watching? And the word can't just be entertainment. See, that's the hard part. And recently I took out, like I'm on my notebook and I wrote down literally, what am I giving to people? Why should people watch? And I think when you start answering those questions honestly, and you also got to put your ear to the floor and listen to the community, listen to people around you, what works, what doesn't, and what also what are you passionate about? I think when those three areas harmonize, you have something so special. And so I see that with a good handful of streamers, and I think I love the way your head's at right now in terms of of content creation and Twitch. That's exact. I resonate so much with everything you've said. That's why I don't mind. Please, by the way, cut me off. All right, you could keep talking over me.
For sure.
That's not.
For sure.
Okay, thank you. All right, I got a big mouth
Easy.
already. Yeah.
Can do it.
But
happily, Mom, shut up.
whoa, all right. Whoa,
okay, not like that. I'm sorry. I'm trying to step in here.
You're fine. But let me ask you this. All right, let's switch over the gears and let's talk a little bit about your channel, your streams.
Mm-hmm.
If I asked your community, TJ, who you are, I'm sorry, what do you think they would say to me? If I had never been in your stream, they don't even know who I am.
I think my chat or my community, I think is a better term for it. I'd say they describe me as someone that's quite, I wouldn't say like clowny or silly, but I guess I tend to be quite a bit silly, but also have that switched on element as well. I guess I do try to put on like I wouldn't say a persona, because I don't think persona is the right word. Like, I like to be myself on stream. I am myself on stream, but I do want to be a more entertaining version of myself on stream. And I think that leads to me being a little bit more of a bit of a clown, bit of an idiot, and just having fun with it entirely. Just like everything that I do on stream, I end up being silly and fun, and not a rich white boy like. Apparently,
there. I told you, dude. I told you. You look at it, you're done. You're done.
I'm done. I'm trying to have like what's the word? Face to face with you at the moment. So I've got your stream up muted, but I can see it just below.
You could cover the chat. I promise you, TJ.
True,
if you look into them, it's like Medusa. You look into them, you turn to stone. All right, you're done. You're done.
Monka, yeah.
I've seen it every time. Let's flip the question though. All right, let's flip it around. How would you describe your community to me? Say we were meeting for coffee, and I was like, "Yeah, tell me about your channel." And you're like, and I was like, "Oh, tell me about your. Why should I watch? Like, if I go and watch your channel, what can I expect from the people watching?"
I guess like in terms of my community right now, my community is quite young in terms of its like age. I've only been streaming for 6 to 8 months. Like, it's not been a very long time. I've been streaming for like 8 or so months, but my community as a whole, like, I only started my community Discord like a month or two into streaming. And so that the Discord and like the sort of community that I'm trying to build and develop there, is only 5 to 6 months old. And it's definitely like the biggest learning process that I've come across in terms of my Twitch career so far is like, I wouldn't say shaping the audience that you want or shaping the community that you want, but also like shaping the community to also reflect you and have the same sort of humor as you and be a tight-knit, very welcoming sort of community. And trying to like guide them in that right direction to actually create that is something that I wouldn't say I've struggled with, but it's like definitely a long-term learning process and something that I haven't gotten straight away. And I think in the next 6 to 12 months, if I keep going at it, I will be able to work it out and sort of understand the best way to mold the community to sort of what I want it to shape like. And that could just be essentially like doing more movie nights or being more interactive in my Discord and communicating with people more. I'm not too sure. I'm still working it out, but I think that's like sort of how my sort of community is looking at the moment. But besides that, they are extremely welcoming. I am such a big fan of my I wouldn't say regular community, like regular viewers, but like the core members of the community. They're definitely like extremely welcoming to anyone that comes into the stream and love saying hello to anyone. And anyone that's new that pops in. Like I've found, especially recently, like I've had a few people come in from raids and they're just like, hey, I actually really like this here. Like, people are super lovely to me in chat. I'd love to hang around and get to know some of these other people. And those 1 or 2 people each couple of streams is really helping the growth of the community. And I love it. It's amazing.
Who's the core? If you had to name a couple, who's the core?
Definitely best mod Raylene. And then we've also got Laj, Lady Canada. Who else do we have? We've got Natty. There's like Solace, just to name a few. And then we've also got the boys as well, which is like Charlie Tunks and those guys. So in terms of my community, we've definitely got Raylene, Pi, Bambi as well, stuff like that. So
Awesome.
yeah, no,
Awesome.
it's great.
Nice. There it is. There's the first part, dude. You killed it. It's a breeze. That's a breeze right there. All right.
Yeah, great.
But we do get into the heart of the matter. We get into the meat and potatoes of tonight's show, which is the life story. But until then, before then, I'm sorry, I'm going to go use the restroom. And I'm going to leave you with the people here, all right? So that's when you can pull up your chat. Go interact.
I can pull up
the
chat now? Beautiful.
Yeah, good luck with them, all right? These guys are popping off the
Awesome.
whole time. I'll be right back.
No worries. Hello, guys. How are we? What's going on? Hey, Arch, what's up? How are we, guys? Hello. Hello. Can we get some P-Bro Haze? Surely we get some P-Bro Haze going. Come on. Do you have Chatterino open? I've got Chatterino open now, but I had it closed during the conversation. Hi, Harry. What's up? Hey, Bambi. Hey, guys. How we doing? Hi, Natty. Hi, Peanut. I'll be low-key with you guys real quickly. I am quite honestly shitting myself. This has been a terrifying experience. So I've not really been much of a public speaker, never alone interviewing anyone. And so I am very much talking out of my ass, and it's scary. But I think I'm doing a pretty okay job, and I don't mind it. He can hear you? Oh shit. Hi, mums. Nah, TJ, you're bin for not mentioning me as a main character. Mangy, you're my colleague. Yeah. Hey, look at this quirky TJ guy. What's going on, Jay? How are you? Fuck, I feel like this is my own stream now. How are we doing? Hey, Pi. I cannot believe this video from GG Easy got shown. I don't think that James has seen it yet either until today. I think that was the first time that James has actually seen that clip, which is very funny. I've taken over the stream. It's my stream now. Mums has just taken a quick short break. And so when he jumps back, we'll continue on. Just got out of work. Nice, Jay. Nice. Doing great, TJ. Thank you, Frenchie. I appreciate it. Downgraded to colleague. My partner in business, Mangy. You've been upgraded from just a community member. How about that? Do you call it moms or mums? I've got to call it moms. Moms? Oh, fuck, dude. It's so hard because I'm just going to say moms. I think I'll type it as moms, but I'm going to say mums just because of the Australian accent. Listen, you're doing great. Thank you, Amelia. Thank you, dude. Imagine missing me. Pi, I said your name. Shut up. Also, what are we thinking about the day stream sort of background with the white light as opposed to the dark blue room? Are we liking it? It's a bit of a difference. I actually don't mind it. I think it's working pretty okay. Imagine missing the 16-year-old. I'm terrible, aren't I? More attention. Raylene, I called you best mod. I'm not too sure how much more attention you need.
This is what they want. This is what you're giving the people.
This is what they're after for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Just a moment. A crumb, please. Yeah,
exactly. Attention, please. I need it.
Oh my! I had to turn on my heater a little bit, so that's the little extra time there. But TJ, all right. Let me get settled in here for a bit.
Get into the gritty stuff. Let's go.
I mean, yeah. Here's the biggest one. I feel like anyone that watches, they'll think that the first part is the hardest part, and I disagree strongly. I think this is the part where it really, it's tough. It's tough because for some it's the first time, for others it's not, but it's still a vulnerable place. Again, I want to respect your privacy and all that jazz. But as always, we start from the very top. So without doxing yourself, TJ, what were you born and raised?
So I grew up in the city of Brisbane, which is in Queensland, Australia. It's the northern-east state in Australia. And Brisbane's I'd say Brisbane's in my opinion, still one of my favorite cities in Australia. I've pretty much been to all of them. I love the size of it. I think it's very convenient in the size. It's very beautiful. It has a nice river down the middle of it. The city's not overwhelming, and it's got a nice suburban area that's only 10, 15 minutes away from the city. So
you still live there to this day?
I do not know. No. So as of last year in November, so actually around this time last year, I made the big drive down from Brisbane to Sydney. And so now I live in the same city as Tunks and Brody and all those guys in the big city of Sydney.
Big city. Oh, I love it. I love it. That's beautiful. So, let's not get too ahead of ourselves, though. That's the present. That's right now. But let's take a little time machine. I'm going to ask you about your family. Now, how many siblings do you have?
I
If
have
any?
one sister.
Older, younger?
I have one sister. Only, yeah, younger. She's 18 this year. Yeah.
Whoa, so Mr. TJ, you're the oldest.
I am the oldest, yeah.
Holy cow. I did not see that one coming. I usually try to guess this part, and I was like, I don't know. I didn't see. I saw maybe middle. You're definitely not the youngest. You don't got that. You don't got that, that quality of being the best. And no, I'm fucking with you. That's me. How is it being the older brother, man? Are you Mr. Protective? What kind of brother would you say you are?
I don't know. Like it's been like a really tough sort of, I wouldn't say tough year, but it's been kind of interesting. Like growing up with my younger sister, like we had that sibling rivalry where it was very much just like back and forth. Like she would be a pain in the ass to me and I would just annoy the crap out of her. And that's just sort of like any brother and sister would do. But the thing is with her is she started to get quite mature around the age of like 17 in the sense that like she stopped being so annoying to me. She stopped being so rude and disrespectful to me. But that's around the time that I actually moved interstate. And so now she's 18. So legal age in Australia is 18. So you can actually go out and drink and stuff like that. I've still not been able to go to a pub or a bar or anything like that with my sister and have a drink yet because I've traveled interstate. And I don't know, like I visited home earlier this year when there was that little bit of a gap in the border where I could actually go up there and visit. And it was insane to me seeing how much she's sort of grown in the past year, how much her room's changed, how much like her clothing's changed, like the sort of friends that she has now. She's got a boyfriend as well that I haven't even met. Then they've been together for a while. Like, I don't know, things like that. It's just like, I feel like I'm missing such a crucial part of my sister's like growing up. And I wished I could sort of be there for her at the moment, which would have been really cool. But I don't know. Hopefully soon after COVID sort of chills out, I'll be able to go back and hang.
I want to dive into that a little bit because I think you said some really beautiful things there.
For sure.
You mentioned, your sister's going through a lot of changes in her life. She's 18, so that's the legal age of going out. She has a boyfriend. Her room's changed. All that stuff. When you first went back home and you saw all these changes, what was your initial feeling? What was running through your head?
I'd say like a feeling of like being proud and just like and happy that I'm seeing my sister sort of grow up and like and living her best life and actually doing the things that she wants to do and being like sort of that more mature sort of adult that I kind of never saw in her before. It was like I remember it being such a strange feeling in the sense that I felt like I didn't really know her as much anymore because like that person that I left the city knowing, I came back and she was completely different, and it was almost like she's just grown up like a full 5 years and it's just become like a young woman, which is impressive coming from just like a girl that I grew up with. So it's it was interesting.
Ideally, where would you like your relationship with your sister to be?
I think that I have a good relationship with my sister. I think it's someone like I'm the sort of person that would love to have my little sister to look up to me as an individual that she can ask for advice and she can like sort of like if she has any problems she can come to me and talk to me and stuff like that. And that's someone that like that's something that I've really really wanted to be for her. And like at that young age she kind of would see that and just be like I don't need to talk to you. You're just an annoying older brother. I don't need that. But now that she's getting to the age where she doesn't really know what to do when she goes out drinking, and she doesn't know what to do when like people offer her things, and she shouldn't do anything like that. Like I need her to come to me and like talk to me about that sort of stuff because I want to be that older brother and like make sure that she's safe and see that into the future, even when she's a lot older and needs help with accounting or anything like that. Like I can be that older brother to help her with that sort of thing, which is sort of how I see that relationship going.
But I gotta throw back on the idea because here's the thing, TJ. I'm the youngest. All right, at the old age of 27, I'm still the youngest. All right, my brother's like 31, and I still have I love him to death, and definitely our relationship has evolved. But the question I have for you is when you say that that's what you want for your sister, that kind of relationship. Does your sister know that of you? Does she know that you are the person I can go to and talk to you about these things? Has that been established, or is this more of a hope?
I feel like the foundation of that has been established, it's starting to be like it's like becoming more and more of a thing at the moment. Yeah, I'd say in like the past 3 to 6 months, especially, where I have spoken to her and I've actually like reached out to her and jumped on the phone with her and actually talked to her about things, and it's been good, and that's sort of where I wanted it to go, and just like sort of developing that trust either more and more and more over time, where like it could be literally anything, and I'd be more than happy to sit down with her and have a talk about it, and be able to be there for her as a an older brother.
Here, let me even go in reverse. Do you think can you do that for your sister though? Can you be the one that goes to her and tell her things about your life that are intimate or tough or difficult? Because I think it goes both ways. It can't just be I'm the big brother and look up to me, but now it's like there's always that respect though. You're older and there will be that respect. But the older you get, I also realize with siblings, yeah, the respect's still there, but the way in which we see each other is more eye to eye. We're more equals. And so do you think that's something that you got to do? Is that something that you have been trying to do where it's like, I'm going to tell my sister these things about my day, about my life that maybe I haven't told mom and dad about?
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's like 100% the sort of relationship that I wanted to have with my sister is like, anything that she wants to say to me, like if she just wants to talk to someone that's like a close relative and doesn't want to tell mom and dad, like she can come to me and I can go to her with things. And I feel like I got a little bit of a head start in that, in the sense that I would open up to her about my relationship in the past and stuff like that, and be able to go down those sort of rabbit holes with her, and not have to involve my parents who would overstress and worry about it. So I kind of like created that foundation a while ago, opening up to her. And then just ever since there, like especially this year, it's just become a lot more open and open and open. And we're like talking about a lot more things, which is great. And so I'm excited as anything to go back home and see her. Yeah,
that's so cool. That's something, again, like I said with my brother, like we had the sibling rivalry too, but there's also this realization where it's like, again, he's 31, I'm 27. We kind of work together. Like, yeah, we don't want to stress out our parents. They're getting older. They got a lot of other things on their plate. So we kind of take care of each other, especially when it comes to the mental and emotions. Like we're very honest with each other's issues. We share what needs to be shared. And sometimes it's not brought to the parents because it's one of those things where they'll have their biases and they'll have their own, ideas, but really it's between you and your sibling. And I love the fact that you really want to share a drink with your sister. I think that was a beautiful moment when I shared one with my brother. So that's going to be very special. I guarantee you. Who's picking up the tab though?
Probably me. All
right. The gentleman. Good job. That was the trick. That was the only gotcha question tonight. That's the only gotcha one.
For sure.
So we covered your relationship with your sister. How about your parents? Tell me about your parents. What kind of household was it? A strict household in the Bird house?
I wouldn't say it was strict. So growing up when I was a lot younger, I feel like my parents sort of tried shaping me into someone that they saw as who they wanted their son to be. It was very much hey, make sure you go and you play your rugby game this weekend, or make sure you go and do your rowing and do the swimming and do all the sport that we want you to do. Whereas I would go back to them and just be like, hey, I would much prefer to sit at my computer, record a Minecraft video and upload it to YouTube, because I'm extremely passionate about that and would love to learn how to edit a YouTube video or edit something in Premiere or learn After Effects and do all those sorts of things, which I would much prefer to do. And instead of it being like, go out and play the footy, I'd much prefer to sit at home on my computer and learn. And I've always had that aspiration to discover new skills and learn ever since a young age. And I think the older and older I got, my parents started to actually like come like used to the idea. It was definitely very much a thing when I was younger, like the same age old story, like get off the computer, you're playing too many video games, like go outside and kick a football around. But I ended up taking the niche. Now we'll touch on this a bit later in terms of the career, but ever since I was like 11 or 12, I found a workaround by using gaming and using it for work. Ever since I was about 12 or 13. Now, what I would do is when I was that age, I started to learn how to animate 3D Minecraft characters, and I used that as a way to use Minecraft in the sense that I could say to my parents, oh, I'm just learning how this works, so that I could create an intro or an animation for a famous YouTuber, and then they would end up using it on their YouTube videos, and I'd get paid for it. So since that young age, I was trying to use that as a little bit of like hey, I'm not gaming, I'm I'm doing work instead.
Smart.
And
I
so
like
that's
that.
sort of how I moved to that.
I like that. That's genius. I wish I you know what? I might take that move at the age of 27. I'll use that today and say, "Hey, I'm trying to talk to strangers online, mom." Anyways, but I love your mindset, especially as a kid. That's a hustler's mindset. Um, you know, I do have a question though about that identity part. You're telling me that your parents are kind of pushing you or guiding you in the direction of who they want as this upstanding citizen, this human, this man, all right? And yet your values didn't completely align. Specifically in the realm of vocation, it sounds like. I don't know about the other stuff, and that's not what I'm getting towards. So tell me how. Yeah, we heard your workaround, but what was your initial feelings, reactions? What were the discussions between you and your parents that are had that are like, because that's a tough discussion, that's especially at a young age, because you lose that 10 out of 10 times. They'll look at you, be like, if you're under 18 saying this stuff, more often than not they're gonna be like, all right, but really you should do this. So tell me about tell me about that tension. Tell me about that workaround.
I can definitely go quite deep here in the sense that it was like, I'd say my parents saw it impacting not only the schoolwork that I was doing, in terms of me. I wouldn't say I was getting bad grades. I wasn't a terrible student. I wasn't putting in that 110% effort that I should have been doing in school, especially in that sort of primary school sort of age, or elementary school. And then they also saw it impacting the livelihood at home as well. And then they were saying that me and the amount of times I was playing video games, or the times that I was on the computer instead of being a valued member of the family and communicating, and they saw it or assumed that it would have a mental impact on me and the way that I would communicate with them. And they saw like a bit of, I wouldn't say anger, but like more of like, I guess like a little bit of like an angry aversion would come out if I was supposedly playing those video games. But on my perspective, I saw it as a retaliation from just being taken away from something that I enjoyed. So ever since that young age, like them saying I'm not allowed to use the computer, or internet's being turned off for this day, or no longer allowed to close your door so you can hide like computers in your room and stuff like that, definitely caused like a lot of tension in the household. When I was around that 11 to 13 sort of age. And it even got to the point where there would be a few back and forths with my parents, and like definitely arguments that got very, very heated, to even lead us to going to a therapist or a family therapist, and having communications with them to understand, like, is this impacting my schoolwork? Am I the source for the negativity in the household? And is that me that's causing it? Which ended up over time developing. And I think the way that ended up turning out was that my parents became a little bit more open to the idea of what I was doing, and sort of became like a little bit more understanding. Like, were very arrogant at the beginning, but then started to work out, okay, so this is why he's doing it. This is where he gets his enjoyment from. This is what he's doing in terms of work. I'm actually glad that he's putting a creative spin on all of the gaming and aspects that he's doing in that sort of area. And so they came open to the idea, and I guess became like a little bit more understanding of it. But like a fun fact was, like, I think in my year 11 and year 12, which is almost the senior year of high school, like, I didn't have a door in my room. Like, my parents unhinged the door to my bedroom so that they could walk past my bedroom and have a check to see if my computer was schoolwork or if it was video games. And so they did take those extra precautions. And it got bad at a certain point, but no, it did turn around at some point. And I still actually cannot believe like the 180 that it did from that point, where I still remember the day that I was sitting in this therapist's room with my entire family and talking about these sort of things, and me being the center of the negativity and tension in this household, to then my mum asking me, so where are you flying to this weekend for a gaming or esports event? So that's I'm so glad and happy that my parents have done that 180 turnaround, and they're proud of what I'm doing and impressed with what I'm doing. I guess I am in a sense like quite successful with what I'm doing in terms of like my working element, but no, I'm glad that it's actually turned around, and then they're embracing it and actually happy about it, and able to be proud about it as well, and like tell their friends and family like what I'm doing, and kind of use me as like a little bit of a humble brag to say this is what my son's doing and he's kicking ass, sort of thing. So that's great.
Yeah, I'm really proud of you, man. That's such a cool story arc. That's where you are now. Specifically, we're not even talking about streaming or your career. We're talking just your relationship with your family.
Mm.
That's very powerful. The fact that it went that far, that it went towards family therapy. That's actually something that my own family has talked about doing. Not recently, but within the past 5 years. Like that, it's tough. So, for those of, maybe I'm even just asking for myself, TJ, but I'm gonna paint it as if this is for everyone here. For those of people that are looking for their parental approval of being a content creator, of having a career online, what would be your advice to those people?
I think like it's very hard to hit the nail on the head with this one, in the sense that there's no two parents that are the same. There's no two content creators that are the same either. People have different work ethic. People have different drive to do different things. Parents have different ideas and intentions in their head and what they want for their children. I was fortunate enough that my parents understood that I was extremely passionate. I was being creative, which helped that both of my parents were creatives as well. And that I was incredibly invested in what I was doing. And if you show those signs to your parents and they start to understand and you keep at it, so you just don't go, I want to do this, I want to be a content creator, I want to stream, I want to do this. They'll just straight away turn around at you like the first sign of it and just be like, don't do it. It's not worth it. Only the 0.01% actually become a successful content creator. It's definitely not a path that you should take. But if you do show those signs of aspirations, if you do put in that 110% into it, if you try and literally like fit in every hour of the day that you're not doing work or schoolwork or something like that, and you can show that you actually care so much about this thing, then maybe they might come around and actually be, hey, this is something that he's incredibly, or he or she is incredibly passionate about, really wants to try hard at it. And at the end of the day, the parents just want to see their children happy and successful in life. And if you can do something and work hard towards something that shows success and has a return, then go for it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that answer a lot. I think we have to think about the word dream a lot. Everyone wants to say, man, it's my dream to be a content creator or a streamer on Twitch or on YouTube or an influencer on TikTok and IG. And if it's your dream, you're going to do everything possible to make that dream come true. That's the rules of a dream, guy. I don't make the rules. That's literally you can't have it's such a powerful word. It's like the word love that is so overused that I think it loses its luster, it loses its meaning. But like you're saying, like if you truly believe, and the buck starts and stops with you. If you truly believe in yourself, in what you're doing, in the content you're providing, the community you're creating, and you're able to show the metrics and you're able to keep plugging away, then sky's the limit. And people, not just the community, not just random people on Twitch, but even your own family and friends will start believing in you. I think that's what I'm starting to see through you, TJ, and I'm really happy that you shared with us that today. I think that's really important for, if not anyone else in your community, for myself to hear. That's huge, man. That's so cool. Tell me your relationship with your parents directly. Your mama's boy, your daddy's kid. What are we talking? How is your are you very open and candid with both of them? How does this go?
I definitely tell my parents what they want to hear and not what they need to hear. I've definitely been like that growing up. It's always been like that. I'd have to say that I'm a mama's boy. I think mum has definitely put herself out there to make me a mama's boy. Mum's definitely always been there for nearly everything. Dad has also been there for everything. I'm fortunate enough to have both my parents still happily together, living under the same roof, which is awesome. But no, I guess mum's also always had that sort of like, I don't know, put in that extra effort or go on that extra mile to make sure that like I know that she's listening to what I'm saying, and then like she knows, or I know that she's actually taking an interest and keeping up to date with what I'm doing. Like she went out of her way to make a Twitch account just to follow my stream. Like she went out of her way to make a Discord. I didn't show her any of these things. I didn't tell her how to make a Discord account just so she could jump into my Discord. She worked out how to do it, and for a boomer, that's pretty impressive. And it just shows that extra mile and effort that like they go out, or that my mom definitely goes out of the way for. My dad's an interesting one. My dad has worked in the I'd say like film and marketing industry for 20, 30 years now. He was a copywriter for a good 20 of those years as well. In the sense that he would write commercials and advertisements and marketing ideas for big companies. And what he would always see is that entire mainstream sort of aspect to film and television industry and the mainstream media, and would look at what I was doing and going, son, okay, all of this is really good and well. Doing your YouTube, that's great. Twitch, great. No worries. Broadcasting online to your little friends, that's amazing. Go get some work experience, go work at a media house, go work at a film and television company, go do something like that. And it's been always like, I feel like there's that extra pressure on me, or not pressure, I would say like, I've always had this internal thing with myself is to make my dad proud. I feel like it's always been like one of those tough things where I can never push my dad over the edge and get him to say like, wow, that's like, he'll say to me that he's proud or impressed or anything like that. But I've never actually had him turn around and go like, holy shit, I didn't know you could actually do that. And that's the point that I'm really trying to push for. That's honestly like one of my main hustles at the moment is just to get my dad to the point. Like, I'll jump on the phone with him and say like, hey, the company's doing this. Okay. Like we just did this, and this, we've sold this, and this. And he'd just be like, cool. So when are you turning your phone sideways to show me the 6 digits or something like that? Like I still haven't gotten to that point where I can actually go to him and be like, look, here's the proof. Here it is. Here's my name in a media article. Like, here's my name in the newspaper. Something like that. I still have to work myself towards that point. But no, that's sort of the relationship that I have with my parents in that sort of aspect. Yeah.
2 things. First thing, I got to thank the raid just now. You got doubled down. Miss Jade is a boss with 70 million people coming through here. This story just got, the stakes just got hotter, guys, all right? Because here's another thing. Jade, thank you so much for joining us. Everyone here from Jade's community, my name is Moms Online. Welcome to another episode of Inside the Streamer Studio. Today's guest of honor we have here, Mr. Tjbirrd. We're learning a little bit about his life. You guys just made it in time, too. We've hit the first segment of the life story, his family, all right? He told us some beautiful stories of his sister, his mom, who's actually in the chat here tonight, as well as his dad. You mentioned something, TJ, by the way. You mentioned something. I just wanted one question, and then I'll give you a little surprise that just occurred. But what you said, you say the things to your mom that she wants to hear versus the things that actually happen. Can you give me an example of that? What do you mean by that?
How do I say this one? I don't know. It's just always been like one of those things like, I'll give mom half truths. I'll give mums like, just so mom's not worried. You know how mums are always like, it's just a mother's thing. They always want to know like what their son's doing all the time. If I tell my mom, I'm just at a friend's house at 1 a.m. in the morning when I'm really at like the missus' house or something like that. You know what I mean? Like things like that. You know what I mean? Like you gotta tell your mom half truths. And I know mom's probably listening right now as she normally would be. And she'd be like, I know these things. I can't do anything about it. And unfortunately, that's just the way it is. I'm always going to tell my mom the half truths, and it's fun. It's fine.
And it's interesting because she did just comment. She commented, not a boomer. She's saying she's not a boomer, which I agree with you, Mama Bird. All right. From one person who's also like I'm 27. In the world of the internet, 27 is irrelevant, apparently. But, it's nice having your baby boy here. But hey, Mama Bird, I'm working for you as well, all right? I'm trying to get the inside scoops on your son here. We're trying to get into the deets here, and now we've got him. We've got him. Gen X. True. Wait, TJ, I never even asked you. How old are you?
I'm 21.
No, what? You're so young.
I'm 21. I'm turning 22. I'm 22 in 2 months, but
fair enough.
21.
I definitely thought you were like 25, 26.
Yeah, I get that a bit. I think
That's
Angel
crazy.
Melly thought I was 28 when she met me, so
that was insane. That's insane.
Yeah.
Well, nice. I'm still seeing that. That's awesome. But I love that. I think we got a pretty well-rounded vision of the answer is 19. Of your family and the upbringing there. And I think that's such a beautiful arc. And that's something that like whether it be here in the state, around the world, there's always that tension between teenage, young adult kid to the parents. And especially when, parents do, I agree with you. And a lot of what you said tonight is resonating deep. The parents want what's best for the kid. Like most of them. I can't speak for every parent, but it sounds like in this situation, they want you to succeed. They're putting you in these sports for X, Y, Z reasons. They want you to study for X, Y, Z reasons. They want you to eat well, be a rounded person, so that when you become a full-fledged adult, someone who is leaving the nest and taking care of themselves, that you have the groundwork to succeed already. But when it comes to stuff like a vocation and that journey, it's so tough. That's so difficult because there are a lot of paths that happen. I've worked in admissions at a college, and one of the biggest things I've told parents over and over is, if you're gonna, I respect you as a parent, and that's something I've never done in my life. But here's the one track that I've yet to be corrected on, is that you've had 18 years with your kid, all right, in your household. You've been talking to your kid, you've been teaching your kid, you've been doing all this stuff for 18 years. And now's the time that it's that they leave the nest, they go into college, they usually dorm. So why now are we so worried, of them leaving leaving the household and doing their own thing? Because in theory, you've had them for their whole life. You've had their whole life to be teaching and leading by example and setting that strong foundation. So the thing is this: as a parent, and I usually look into the parent's eyes, I said, I believe in you as a leader of the household, as a parent. So I know your kid's gonna do well. You just gotta have that little bit of faith in them, and have them take off. Well, that's awesome, TJ, man. You've been killing this. Let's move on. Let's move on towards your the least sexiest of topics, which is education and your friends. The worst time for me to say this, but to bring it all, I know, the hottest topics of the evening.
Yeah, for sure.
To bring it in, tell me about your high school experience. All right, tell me who you were. Who was Tjbirrd back in high school?
That's a good question, actually. I feel like I've spoken to someone about this before. And the answer that I had for that was along the lines of like, I saw myself as very much like a middle of the pack everything. And I don't know how to describe that, in the sense that like I was always like, I wasn't getting like outstanding grades and I wasn't failing at all. I wasn't outstanding at sport. I wasn't terrible at sport. And I felt like I kind of like blended in and did a good job at sort of like meshing myself in between like the majority, and just kind of like going through high school under the radar. And that's sort of how I went about it. Towards like the end of my high school, I started to like discover, I'd say, talent and skills in sort of like the arts, in terms of like photography, videography, like media and all those sort of things. And I did get accolades and like awards for doing art and visual art and television at my school. So I guess that kind of like helped me stand out a little bit as that sort of media kid. But no, I'd say like during like my schooling sort of life, I just became that sort of kid that was very much under the radar, and my name would not be mentioned first, but not also be mentioned for the bad reasons either. So
you really stuck in that in between. You're just plugging it away. You're doing your things. Oh, well, does that fall under any real clique? Does that fall under any real, stereotype of what a high schooler is?
I don't know. Like, for me, like, I just didn't see myself in any like particular category either. Like, I wasn't one of the popular kids. I wasn't super cool or anything like that. I wasn't one of the geeky, nerdy kids that would go and play Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that. I don't know. I saw myself as very much like, I'd play my sports, I'd do my schoolwork, I'd play my video games after school, things like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just saw myself as like in the middle of the pack. Also, I just saw what you did there.
I'm over here.
I'm sorry. I've never
D&D.
played a game of Dungeons and Dragons. I did definitely stereotype people that play that game. It was a little bit of an inside joke jab at someone in the chat as well. So
hey, if that person in the chat, we'll talk later about that. But we'll get him. We'll get him, guys. I do love me some D&D. That's the thing is, that's my equivalent of experimenting in college, because that's what I got into then. Holy cow. And now I got to go thank another raid here. 26,000 people. Mr. Jaye, thank you so much for the raid. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, coming from Jaya Stream. I'm Moms Online. Nice to meet you. Today we are having another episode of Inside the Streamer Studio. Today's very special guest, Mr. Tjbirrd here. We're getting into his life story right now, specifically his time in high school, man. That awkward part of our lives we've all had to struggle through. But thanks so much for joining, Mr. Jaya. I'm not even going to bother, all right? I know you're doing your thing. Relax. You just ended, all right? Get yourself a drink, put your feet up, make a TikTok real quick. But much love. Thank you so much for the raid, my man. DM me sometime, all right? But Mr. TJ, all right? We're talking about your high school career so far. And what is, I guess, you were mentioning how you're very much, good, have it, thank you so much. You're very much middle of the pack. You weren't the worst, you weren't the best. What sports were you playing? What co-curriculars were you doing in high school? I'm sorry.
That's right. I was a rower mainly. I think that was my main sport during the high school sort of end of it. I was somewhat decent of it. I think because of my size. I'm 6'1", jacked male, jacked alpha male.
Chad galore. Yes. Yeah.
No, so I was mainly a rower. I also did rugby union, which was like sort of like the main sort of physical contact sport that we played in Queensland. Australian football, or AFL, is really popular in other states besides Queensland. So we sort of lean towards rugby union, which is that international version of rugby. And then earlier on, I did a lot of swimming. I think I swam properly for like 8 years or something like that. So I did a lot of swimming in my early sort of years, and then shifted over to rugby and rowing, which were my main sports at the end there.
Yeah. So you really got into that world of sports, athletics. Again, outside of sports though, what were the co-curriculars? What did you do in terms of clubs, if you were part of any, or were you mainly so fixated on sports?
I definitely wasn't that like invested in the whole sporting side. I was the captain of the media club at school, I guess. Like we did like we had a thing which was sort of creating like short advertisements for different sporting events, and I would create like photoshops or videos that would go on the school assembly. So that was sort of like where I sat myself. I don't know. I got to a point where towards the end of my school career, I started to like mesh a few of the different sort of career paths I wanted to go down, which I'm still on today, with what I was doing still at school. So a lot of my like outside of school time, I was working on different like career path projects. I guess I don't want to spoil anything for later, but basically like working on that outside of school. So I didn't invest too much into sort of like the school life and the co-curricular activities. I do my sport, but outside of that, I would work on the esports stuff that I was doing at the time, or my actual job at the time, which was giving me pocket money so I could pay for things. So that's sort of where I saw myself. So I didn't really do too many co-curricular. It was more just like around that sort of area. Yeah.
Tell me about your friend group in high school. You still close with them today?
It was a tricky one. I got to a really weird point. Like I can go deep again because, you know, why not?
Shoot.
I got to a really weird point towards the end of my schooling career. I still remember to this point where I was between two groups. There was one group was very much like outgoing sort of people that would go to a lot more like social events, parties, stuff like that, like happily do a bit of the underage drinking and stuff like that, and not really worry too much about that, which was like, I guess, sort of like a path in the more like popular sort of way. But I also had this other friend group, which I was friends with for a lot longer. And these were sort of people that I would video game with and be like super tight with online. We'd play games together. We used to like sometimes even record videos together when we were like kids and wanting to make like Minecraft videos, Counter-Strike videos, whatever the case may be. And so around like the middle of high school mark, I started to shift towards the group that wanted to do parties and stuff like that, as I saw myself as someone that like actually enjoyed going out and being a bit reckless, and like we would adventure off in the middle of the night into like abandoned asylums and stuff like that, and take photographs and do some cool edgy shit like that. And then like it got to the point where I started like, I wouldn't say like being too detached from those people, but I struggled to like stay as good of friends with the people I was initially in another group with as much as I would have liked to. So those people in that group that I gamed with when I was younger started to see me shift away and almost see me like lose contact with them when I didn't really want to initially. That was not really my intention. And it got to the point where they saw me as someone that was like, I wouldn't say clout chasing is the right word for that, but like someone that was trying to get that like sort of a boost in popularity, and was like seen to go to that group for that reason, when it was just me sort of developing as a person and not really wanting to do too much like gaming all the time every single weekend, and actually start going out and going to parties and stuff and like and meeting people and doing stuff like that. And so it got to the weird point at the end of year 12 where I was like, hang on, I miss these guys. I miss being able to like, I wasn't invited to games anymore. I wasn't able to go and like jump on Counter-Strike and play games with them. They'd kick me out of lobbies and kick me out of parties and stuff like that.
Damn.
And what's really weird too is there's a thing in Australia called schoolies, which is like our spring break.
Yeah.
And we do that after school. And the way that you do that is you book a hotel down the Gold Coast a year in advance from when you go to schoolies. And so because of that, I booked my schoolies accommodation with this group of friends that were the people that I gamed with and were really close to at the time. During year 12, I shifted towards the other group. And then towards the end of that year, I started shifting away from that group just to become closer to these guys again, because I did miss them. And it got to this weird point where I was like in between these two groups and not really close with anyone towards the end of my schooling career. I was like almost like torn between two groups. Like I was really close friends with one person from this group. I was really close friends with someone from this group. And I just couldn't find any way to mix them together. And so I ended up going to schoolies with these people. And over that schoolies like week, they started to like see me. Like I started getting these like negative vibes from these people. And it ended up getting to the point where on the second last night, 4 or 5 of them in the party of like 6 or 7 that we had ended up leaving the apartment that night to go back home, and leaving me and another person to clean up the entire apartment and try and get the bond back and stuff like that second night. And a few of them blocked me that night and didn't speak to me again after that. It was just kind of messy. And I guess like they had that negative sort of like connotation towards me.
Yeah.
And the worst part about that was too that I'd gone out of my way towards the end of my schooling career to sort of like shift away from that sort of partying group to go back to my roots and start to be like close with that initial group that I was friends with. And they sort of like pushed me away as someone that like, oh, you were a part of us beforehand, but we don't want you back anymore, sort of thing. And then I kind of like sort of got stuck in a little bit of a limbo. And then after that, like relationship and stuff like that sort of happened, which kind of helped.
Yeah.
But like it's weird now that 2 of those like sort of friends from that initial group sort of came back into my life. One of them was like sort of always a part of my life and didn't really agree entirely with what the group was doing, and sort of like just, I wouldn't say like peer pressure, but kind of just like went with the flow just so there was no drama or any antics caused. But I've always stayed like really, really close friends with him and really tight with him. And then one of his other friends as well, I'm still pretty close with. I'm pretty sure both of those two are still watching right now and would have heard that story then, which is it's going to be interesting to hear their take on that. But
it's going to be even interesting. More, it's a hotter take when I still have more follow-ups on those questions.
Go for it.
Did you see, you mentioned you try to reconnect your relationship with the old friend group before you went into that house. Did you see this coming? Did you see this result of what the end of those 2 days was going to be when they just ditched and blocked?
It was weird because like I felt like I had gone out of my way ridiculously in the like last couple of weeks of the high school life, in the final years of the senior year, where I'd try to like put in that extra effort to like make it up to them and just be like, hey, I'm like 100% here. Like I've got you guys. Like I'm ready to be a part of this group again. Like, please, I want this career to be like, sorry, not this career, this week at schoolies to be like a good week. I don't want there to be any beef, any drama. I just want to be like back to how it was and have a good time. And it ended up being like that. And it was really good, but there was a drama.
How was it?
One of the core 3 members, so there was 3 of them. One of them was my really close mate. One of them was my other mate who I'm friends with today. And there was another one who had a thing for this girl.
Oh, here it comes.
And said girl ended up being my girlfriend for 2 years. Okay. And so over that schoolies period, I started to get very close to that individual, the chick. And he saw it, and we were in the same apartment, and he'd see me go off and go have coffee with them or something like that, or go to a party with them.
Yeah.
And he was just like having that jealousy build up and build up and build up over that entire week, which I think led to the point of them going, let's bounce, because they were that core three of that group. And they kind of just agreed on each other and saw it as a bit of a dog move, I guess. But it is what it is. And I don't talk to them anymore. If they don't,
There's an old saying though, my man. There's an old saying in Shakespeare that goes, "Heavy is the head that wears the crown," and it's that belief where it's like, you're doing you, you're living your life, you're developing as a person, and to be very blunt with things, relationships, platonic or not, or even romantic, are so. I guess everyone is looking for that lifer. Everyone's looking for those people in there that are around them that's going to be, these are going to be my ride or dies. These are going to be my end all be alls. They're going to be there through and through. But the more you grow older and the more you all experience life, I think there's an understanding that, oh, wow, maybe this was more of a moment in my life than it is the end all be all. And we're constantly changing. We're constantly growing. We're developing as humans, as people. And so, with that old relationship, like, good on you trying to build the bridge and realizing that, oh man, I have to spend a week with these guys at this place. But it's also tough, and I could kind of see their point of view, to be fair, where it's like, why is this man suddenly back in our lives? Why is this man trying his hardest to just suddenly, and on your behalf, it's the intention is good. But on the other behalf, where it's filled with a lot more disdain and insecurity, their intention was not that. Their intention was looking between the lines, trying to figure out, is he trying to be authentic? And it's very hard to match authenticity when they're on this negative, they have this image of you and they're not going to change that. And that's the preset mode, which is pretty shitty. But I think, for that momentary loneliness and betrayal or whatever you felt, however, and I will want to ask you about that in 1 second, but these are moments in our lives that are lessons, and we realize what happened. We realize what occurred and what led us into that kind of situation. And I'm sure you've grown from that experience, albeit it's very shitty. When you found that these people left, did they leave without your knowledge, and then you just woke up to an empty place with, holy cow, really?
Yeah, so I was out that night. I remember it. So me and this other mate, we weren't really that close with like that core group, and we were just a part of it because we needed, like, we were somewhat friends with that sort of like extended group, but we weren't a part of the core. And I remember being out at a party that he wasn't at, and he gave me a phone call, and I remember him. I was like, I think I was walking home at the time, or I was on the street walking home at night. And I remember this phone call, and he was saying like, dude, I just got back to the apartment and no one's here. They packed their bags and they've all left, and the place is a mess. There's like bottles everywhere. There's like food everywhere, and we had to be the cleaning up crew the next day to keep that bond.
Yeah, that is wild. That is so. What was going through your head when you found that out?
Oh, dude, it was a while ago, so it's a bit hard to remember it now. But I just remember like a feeling of being like, man, I thought I put in that extra effort to like sort of like attach myself to this sort of group again, and be friends with them, show them that I'm like that genuine person. And you're right, like they come of it with like a grain of salt always, and we'll see like, hey, what's this guy's intentions? Why is he doing this? Like, what's happened? What's his intentions for doing this? And maybe we just didn't line up in the sense that we saw different things, and they saw me as being someone that just was after a place to be in terms of like a friend group, whereas I saw it as just like, I like these guys, like, why can't you let me back in, sort of thing. Sure. Which is sort of how I saw it. And then, I don't know, I guess it happened, and then I felt a bit like, wow, so I guess everything that I worked towards in the past couple of weeks kind of just meant nothing, especially with like a few of you like decided like forcefully to like block contact from me, which was a bit strange. I guess that jealousy element came in from what had happened, but yeah, that was interesting.
That's really sus. That's more a judgment of character than anything else, especially not being able to nut up and come to the table and talk about it. I think that's, but then again, still in high school, so we have
exactly. Yeah,
we got pressure. Exactly.
Correct. Yeah, exactly.
So you have your break, you go through your high school career, you get your diploma. All right. Was the natural step next being uni, or did you take a year off, or what was going through your brain as you graduated high school?
So this is sort of where my starting early career sort of comes in. So when I was during, I think year 11, which is the second last year of senior year, I was working at a burger restaurant. Australians call it Grilled. And I was also like taking a bit of an interest in the game Counter-Strike and learning how to play CSGO. And from that, I watched a fair bit of esports online, which was like the competitive scene for esports and who the Australian team was and what they were doing. And they were Vox Eminor at the time, and they just got picked up by another organization who were based out of LA called the Renegades. And I was like, hey, these guys are super cool. I might try and like, I know how to do a little bit of video editing. I've not really like edited montage stuff before, but you know what? I'm a big fan of these guys. I haven't seen anything on YouTube at all that's like a fan edit, I guess, for their Counter-Strike highlights or anything like that. So fuck it. I'm going to like actually try and edit something up and send it to them. So I did that. I edited together like a CSGO sort of highlights thing for the team and their like announcement joining the Renegades. And I published it onto YouTube, put it onto Reddit, got a bit of traction. Sent it off as an email to the Renegades and said, hey guys, this is my video. What do you guys think? And they're like, hey, would you like to be an intern? And this is me being 16 years old, I think at the time.
I love it. The balls. Hell yeah, dude.
And I remember I was at the restaurant at the time, and I remember this. I remember seeing the email on my phone as a response saying, hey, come on board. We love what you do. Like, come and edit some more stuff for me. And I'm just a 16-year-old. I just want to get my foot in the door. I'm like, yo, let's try this. Like, fuck it, man. Like, esports is sick. Like, there's a career path there in terms of gaming. It was very early at the time, but I saw it. And I'm like, yo, there's some big dogs overseas that are making mutzes from this. And I want to try and get my my foot in the door. And so I also saw that as an opportunity to sort of like take a step into the esports gaming sort of space outside of just a casual gamer in Australia and actually sort of like get to know a bit of the community in the Australian, New Zealand sort of scene. And so once I got picked up from them, I only did like 5 to 6 videos working for them in the 8 months that I was with them. And that also drew attention to myself on Twitter as the Renegades video editor. From people in Australia, like a guy named PDG and Sheep. And they saw me and they were like, hey, TJ, we love what you're doing. I know you do like Photoshop and graphic design and stuff like that. Would you be able to like maybe throw together like a logo for an esports organization and see how you go with it? And that organization was for Athletico, which is another esports organization in Australia. And during my finals of year 12, I remember sitting in like practice for the final exams, literally just sitting there on my laptop, designing this esports logo for this Athletico organization, which ended up being their organization logos for 2 or 3 years or 4 years or now, whatever it is, which is that white and gold A that they still use today. And so I ended up saying, look, Renegades, I'm not really interested anymore. Like, you guys are overseas. Like, it's hard. I can't really I think actually, sorry, I forgot to mention, this was conveniently timing. Renegades ended up losing their LCS spot and getting dropped from the League of Legends sort of division, which ended up having all their staff members that were their core staff moving over to Immortals. And I was kind of a part of the org just because I really liked the Counter-Strike team and I wasn't really interested in the entire org as a whole. It was just the CSGO guys. And so I was just like, you know what? I'm all good. I might just drop out of the Renegades for now and that's all good. And conveniently, right at that time, they started Athletico, which was a CSGO team in Australia. It worked out really well because like a few weeks later, I got my first flight to Sydney as a esports content creator. I got to take photos and film at the ESL studios here in Sydney and like check it all out and be like, wow, this is dope. Like I'm staying at a hotel with like all these CSGO players and we're drinking piss and we're like, I'm like, just in like final years of high school. I think I just finished high school or something like that. Yeah. And I was like, this is sick. Like I love this. This is great. Like this studio is sick and I can really see myself getting used to this. And so I pursued it. I became the creative director of Athletico. And I worked on them for like, I think it was 2 or 3 years. Towards the end of that as well, I got my first international opportunity. So I'm going way into the career side now.
No, please.
Do you want me to keep going? Because I know that was sort of like the segue into it, I guess.
Somewhat. Here, let me cut you off then. Let me cut you
sure,
off. We'll jump into that. But I really do want to highlight something about your story.
Sure.
That holy cow, like as a tried and true, my heart is in business. I love business. but I also don't like the business structure of things, especially in big business. I hate that. I've learned quickly that it's not my thing. And by the way, people are telling you you're doing great with your storytelling. I want to gas you up on that real quick too. All right, don't sell yourself too short. But holy cow, what you've just said is something that I've tried to teach my students about, which is shoot your shot. You're young. All right. The fact that you sent that email to that org, look where that took you. Look where that's blossoming into other opportunities, into diving into passions, into understanding. The fact that you even got an internship off of this, whether it's paid or not, is not the mentality. It's the fact your foot is truly in the door. In business, people want to say, "Oh, you want your degree?" Not at all, man. A BS in BS is truly bullshit. What you want to do is network. How do you present yourself, and what is truly your talent? What do you bring to the table? So for you, TJ, at that young of an age, to capture that moment and make something of it, I want to encourage everyone to be doing this. You guys pay attention, man. Chase those dreams. Shoot your shot. It's one of the reasons every Sunday, TJ, you actually reminded me of this. Every Sunday, I will email a big streamer. We're talking Ninja. We're talking Miz. We're talking any of them. And if one of them agrees to be on the show, awesome. Great. But I would never be put in the game unless you shoot your shot. Same thing
100%.
with dating. But TJ, I love that. I'm going to use the restroom once more. All right, I'm chugging.
I've actually got to use it as well. So you go
gotta
first,
use it?
and then I'll go after.
Deal. Say
Can do
less. All right.
All right. Hi guys. I can actually bring up the chat again. How are we all doing? How are we? How is everyone on this fine day? Are you guys enjoying me having a little bit of a deep dive into my Hey Brandon, what's up? How you doing? You're doing great, Sweaty. Don't call me Sweaty. Thanks, dude. Cheers. Hey Jordan, what's going on? That family talk had me going sad boy. I went into a little bit of a sad boy, but like I think the main reason I was like extremely excited to come on the Mums podcast was to actually like have that insane deep dive into sort of like my life that you guys don't really hear. And I feel like there's never really been like a platform to actually like talk about this and go this sort of deep in terms of my, I'm going to say moms. Okay. I'm going to say mums. It's easier for me, Pi. Shut up. It's been great to have like a bit of a platform where I can actually go into this sort of like deep dive and explain my sort of like life. And then I'm extremely excited to sort of talk about my career and what I've done and been able to achieve, which is really, really cool. That's sort of like what I'm most keen for. Hangout TJ. Yeah, you got the hangout TJ, that's for sure. But no, if you guys are enjoying the storytelling, I'm happy about that. That's really cool. I'm glad. It's interesting to see the side of streamers. Us viewers normally don't see. Well, exactly, squad. Exactly. Hey, Rinkater, what's going on? Relax. I'm relaxed. I'm good. I'm chilling. I am chilling. I'm happily chilling. It's all good. I'm not stressed anymore. It's all good. I think that like that first like 10-15 minutes, I was definitely like, woo. But yeah, no, I'm actually I'm enjoying this. This is great. I'm loving, like, it's almost like a bit of like a weight off my shoulders, being able to just go on these like sort of rabbit holes and just explain to you guys like sort of what I've done and been able to achieve and stuff like that. And sort of like a little bit more of a background for you guys to know who I am as a person and sort of like where I come from, so that you guys can sort of relate to me a little bit more or get to know me a bit better on my own streams as well. So that's what I'm keen for. Hey, mums.
Go ahead. Go use the restroom. Sorry.
All right, I'm gonna go now.
Yeah, I'll deal with him. All right, guys, listen up. Cut this shit. No, I'm joking. I feel like I'm a lot nicer when I have a hangover. But guys, dude, TJ's killing it, guys. If you didn't know this, please follow the man. If you don't already, TJ's very talented on Twitch. I'm very interested in this work part. I know himself. He's an entrepreneur. He's a smart guy. And the balls on him to be shooting this shot is so cool, dude. It's so cool. Mr. Parker, how you doing, man? Nice seeing you. Long time no see. Holy cow. The heater's on. I feel cozy. I got a little bit more water in me. Long time no see. I know, Em. How you doing? Best OCE speedrun. I saw, guys. We didn't even get to talk about that. We didn't even get to talk about how nasty his speedrun. What is it? Sub 30? Or was it at 30? Insane. You're so wise. How many channel points to get adopted? I'm only 27, all right, Ray, but I appreciate the kindness. Bro, his speed. Can we ask you? Let me ask you about that. One quick. I mean, give this up to take a shot. Okay, leave me alone, Dave. New mic, thank you. Oh my God, this energy they have. I have a headache already just hearing. They're like, how many subs to take a shot, moms? And the worst part is, I might have a price. No, I'm joking. I'm not. Hey, break it out. If you'd like to have a drink, don't let me stop you, TJ, please.
It's too early. Oh, it's actually 5:30 now. Okay,
It's 5 o'clock. It's literally 5 o'clock right now, my man. All right. What is that? What you got? What you got there?
This is a little bit of a taste of home. I do like the Bundaberg rum, which is like a I don't know. It's a distillery that's in Queensland, which is sort of where I grew up. So it's nice.
You a rum guy? Is that your?
I'd say so. Mum's a rum person, so I definitely became a rum person. That's for sure.
It was in the genes from there. That's
correct.
Dope.
Yeah,
I like it. It's again. Hey, don't let me stop you. If you'd like a little something to take the edge off, maybe during the community questions, that's where you're gonna want to have.
I think that might be a good idea. I might have to go and grab a glass and fire one up for sure. I mean, then at that time it'd probably be a bit of a suitable time for sure.
It'll definitely help. All right, because I already saw some of these questions. They're out of pocket. All right, they're absolutely out of pocket,
shit.
and I'll try my best to skim over.
All right, cool.
Let's talk a little bit about your work history, all right? So, in general, first, how many jobs have you had?
I've had 2 outside of gaming jobs.
Okay, all right, 2 outside of gaming, and let's go chronologically. What was the very first job?
My first job was at Grilled, which was a burger restaurant. That was my entry in. I think I was 16 and I didn't like hospitality at all. I worked there for about a year and a half, and it started clashing with like my co-curricular at school and stuff like that. And the company itself was doing a few dodgy things at the time. I'm not sure if they still are or not, but I wasn't too big of a fan, and so I ended up dipping and not doing that anymore.
And how long did you stay there for?
About a year and a half, I think it was. Yeah,
that's a pretty sizable amount of time. And what was your specific duty at that job?
I think it's like sort of like any McDonald's or anything like that, but like they sit you on different stations. Like there was the bun station, the salad station, the till where you take the orders, and then the grill station as well, and then also like the front of house where you'd walk around and take people's not take people's orders necessarily, but just go and like seat people down. I found myself really good somewhat, or the managers found me really good at doing as the till, which was upselling people to buy more chips and drinks and stuff like that, which I feel like was pretty funny now that I look back on it as someone that like doesn't mind being a bit of a salesperson. Like it's a good skill to have. And so being able to almost be like a little bit of a sellout, a little bit of a salesperson at the young age of 16, it was not too bad. But other than that, I was really good at the grill, but I sucked at the salad because I didn't know what half the things were.
Fair. What would you say is the biggest lesson you learned working there at your first job?
It definitely like creates a value for like work to money, and like it also like I feel like it toughened me up extremely as like a human being. So when I was working there, I was a $9.50 Australian an hour, which was like, I'm pretty sure under the minimum wage, because they had a system involved, which I'm not sure if they still have this system, but you would have to do your certificate 3 in hospitality to be an employee there. So they would employ people and say, hey, as a part of this, you get to get your cert 3 in hospitality. But if you don't want to do your cert 3 and get the pay rise, you can get out. So that's how they like sort of cheated the system a little bit, which was extremely dodgy. But it definitely made me value like how much work I would do for money. So like to do like a 3-hour shift on a busy night, or a 5-hour shift, to only come home with like $50 to my bank, like to my name after that night, or like actually see $200 come into my account at the end of that week, I like understood like how much hustle I needed and how much work drive I needed to do to actually make that little bit of money that I could go and enjoy myself and save up and buy the new PlayStation game that I wanted and stuff like that. So that's why I feel like that was like sort of my foundation of actually like understanding the value of money and how hard you need to work to enjoy things in life and seek the rewards for working hard.
I like that though. I like that you understood that value, and I think that's why I encourage people, like, as soon as you're able,
100%.
Yeah, get to work and let's see what you got, because the first jobs that you have, I think, are the most humbling. And
Yeah.
it gets, for the most part, it gets either equal or better. But sometimes it goes worse. But definitely that first job, that initial jump into the cold pool of the working life and being the bottom tier or whatever, or just someone that's not in a leadership role, is very humbling. And there's a lot of lessons, especially in terms of getting cash for the first time, man. That's a game changer.
Sorry, just quickly, I will expand on that again. I would say, like, anyone that hasn't had their first job yet and is too afraid of just going like, I don't want to work at McDonald's. Like, that's a pleb job or a crummy job and I'm going to get underpaid. Do it, not for the money, for the life lessons. The amount of life lessons that I would have taken away from that job, and I wouldn't say being disrespected by managers, but like sort of having like a higher authority and someone like sort of looking down on me and being able to like keep me under control and managed and stuff like that. That's a life lesson in itself. And being like treated like shit in like a work environment at that sort of hospitality state, it sucks. But the amount of life lessons you come out of it, you become a much more humble person and understanding in the sort of work field.
Exactly.
And,
No,
in a
dead
career,
ass.
yeah.
That when I was again, prefacing it, I'm only 27. When I was your age, as I say this, I was working at a daycare, dude. I was working for my business degree, but on the times that I'm not in class, I was across the street at the church, at the daycare, and I've literally had my clients, the kids that I'm teaching, pee on me. So it's like, it's that lowest tier, that lowest denominator of like, here I am trying to get a business suit downtown Seattle, and I have some kid taking a dump because they had the wrong kind of fucking snacks. It's that kind of, it's humbling. It's humbling, and you realize you got to grind. That money went to my textbooks. That money went to my food and my late nights in college. So a little bit worth it, but at the same time, pretty demoralizing. Second job, what happened after that? So you went from working at the burger joint to
I took a little bit of a break. I tried getting like my sort of foot in the door in terms of like esports and freelance graphic design and being creative. I tried doing graphic design freelance. I tried designing jerseys. I tried designing like apparel, like video editing for people, doing all that sort of stuff, and trying. And I was like, it was making a decent amount of money. And then I shifted to another esports company, but I'll talk about that a little bit later.
Sure.
But I got to the point where it just wasn't a stable income enough for me to be able to like be that 19-year-old that I wanted to be.
Yeah.
And so I reached out and tried getting a gig at JB Hi-Fi, which is a tech store, which is almost like a Best Buy. And I ended up getting it, and I loved that job. That was an amazing job. Like I was a salesperson there. I would work 15 hours a week. I think it was like 15 hours a week or something like that. I'd work on a Friday night and a Sunday, and it was just relaxing. Like I could do everything I needed to during the week, and then I could have like this great community of friends at this JB Hi-Fi. And I almost felt like there's a little bit of a respect for me coming from that like gaming esports life. Like it was like a surreal experience being in store one time, and this new Logitech stand came in to display the new mice, and my photograph that I took at an esports event was on the stand. And I would show like the different stuff and stuff like that and be like, hey, I took that photo. How cool is that? And just stuff like that. That was really cool. And I love the job. Like I have a passion for technology. I was being a salesperson. It was great, good money. And I was loving it. It was sick. But then I had to move and, change my career once I moved states. So that's what happened there.
Okay. Essentially, I think you're the second person to tell me that they've worked at that kind of situation.
James
that's
worked
it.
at same store.
Did you guys work? Wait, you guys worked at the different store?
No, sorry, not the same store. Same company, different store.
Okay.
It's funny. Crew and I, like, I'm a little bit sidetracked here, but Crew and I have like a very similar background. I feel we went to brother schools. So like his school he went to was a brother school to my one. Same sort of like tournaments, like competition system between the schools. He had mutual friends to me that I only met him like a year ago or 2 years ago. And to find out that like I could have like bumped into him anytime in like the past 6-7 years at like different schools, different events. He worked the same like JB Hi-Fi job as me. He had similar sort of sports to me and stuff like that. It's just it's a small world, and he only lived like 10-15 minutes away from where I lived in my other state. So it was it's crazy.
And that's crazy that it didn't pass. Like your paths didn't cross. That you guys found each other that like last year at what was it, PAX?
I actually Brody rated him once, and I found out he was from Brizzy, and I liked his stream setup. So I was like, hey, this guy's kind of cool. I might as well tune in and check him out.
That's all it took. I liked his stream setup. I'll meet you in real life. It's true. All right. It's sexy Harry Potter. That's hard. It's hard not to like. All right. I get it.
He's a good-looking lad, that's for sure.
Oh my goodness. He rent-free in so many heads. All right. He's a
Yeah,
landlord.
exactly.
Yeah, I gotta kick him. But I don't know how.
I gotta bring him back down to earth at some point.
True. So you finish those 2 jobs, and it sounds like after that you parlay into the esports career. Am I correct in that assumption?
Yeah.
So was that after the initial internship, or what happened? What's the timeline?
Yeah. So going back to like the Renegades and Atletico story. So I moved away from the Renegades because their staff were moving over to a different organization. And they were doing a big shift over in America. And I was like, time zones don't line up. It's very hard to work with an American sort of company and American staff and management. I'd rather work here locally. And so I kind of looked around a little bit, and just at the same time, those Atletico guys reached out to me and like, hey, we're starting up this team. Did you want to do the logo and website and like do a few of the graphics and mess around with it? I'm like, sure, why not? And so that became my passion project. And I was really working towards that to be like, I was still doing an internship, but I was also sort of like being the founder of it. So I didn't have equity in it. I didn't get paid for it. I did it for about 1.5 years. And I was sort of like hoping to work towards having it to the point where I would be the first employee that they'd have, and I'd be able to get paid from it. And it got to a point where one of the people that founded it ended up moving over to another company called the Chiefs and being the general manager for them. And I had that relationship with him to the point where he was just like, I can't work with anyone as a creative other than TJ. I need TJ to be my creative side man. I need him in my company. And so I shifted over to the Chiefs, which is I'd say the premier esports club in Australia. The number one sort of esports company here, in terms of a club. And I worked for them for about 1.5 years, 2 years, up until about this time last year. And working with them, I was their content creator, lead content creator and creative director. So I would do everything from their photos at events, recording them at events in terms of creating content, videos, interviews, things like that. I would edit the videos. I'd make montages and highlights from the different events that they would go to. I would also create their graphics for their games. I took posts on their social media. I was doing marketing reviews. I was doing like sales decks and reports and stuff like that for them as well. I don't know. I had a lot of life lessons and business experience from that job and working for them. And it wasn't for a lot of money either. I was like, I don't know. Like, I feel like if you're passionate about something and you love it for the experience, like you don't need to be paid a hell of a lot. Like I was only making I can be open about this. I was on $250 a week for two and a bit years or so, which is
that's
absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I got that second job at JB Hi-Fi, because I was like, hey, I actually want to sort of expand out and work on and get some money to actually pay for some things. So that was my main source of income doing the JB Hi-Fi work, which was like a quarter of the amount of hours that I put into that in terms of the Chiefs stuff, where I just put in way more work. But the Chiefs stuff saw the rewards, and like the thing that I saw with esports, which was like insanely amazing, like just incredible to me, was the experiences. The experiences in doing that job and the Atletico job and things like that. My first international trip in 2018 for esports, I went to Ukraine. That was my first time seeing snow. Yeah. It was like the Star Ladder PUBG Global Invitational. Like it was insane. There was like big lights, everything. There was like, I was meeting all like the international PUBG players, like the Russians and the Chinese and the Koreans and everything like that. Just like having beers with them and just talking and stuff like that. And like the Americans from Tempo Storm and Cloud9 and Team Liquid, and meeting the manager from Team Liquid, just networking internationally. It was really, really cool.
That's beautiful.
And then working for Chiefs, like I think like the highlight of my career would either be going to the PUBG Global Invitational, which was the one in Berlin, which I met Ninja, Dr. Disrespect, that like profile picture. Oh, can I say his name on this platform anymore? I don't know.
I don't know, but I'll take the beating for it. Don't worry.
I met those guys, and that was really cool. And then I also met Ninja as well, who I then met again at the Fortnite World Cup when I went there in July last year. So I don't know, the international like experiences and stuff like that, and always coming back home to base camp and then running into like people I went to school with and having them come up to me and be like, I didn't know you were at home. I thought you were like, I don't know, overseas. Like I saw you last on your Instagram story. Like, sorry, excuse me. Those sort of like experiences were just unbelievable. And and no, I definitely am very grateful for my esports opportunities, and and the life that I had in esports. It was incredible
Yeah.
and very cool.
Well, first thing, wow, that's fantastic. And I loved every bit of that. I told everyone here that I was like, I'm excited for that word. Usually the work history, I'm just like, all right, let's get this. Like, I want to know their experience, but this one clearly within the industry it's fascinating. This is a world. This is 100%. You hit the nail on the head. This is the wave of the future. You broke into the industry at the right time with the right gusto and courage, and belief in yourself that you want to be a part of it. I really, again, holy cow, you've given me. Part of me wants to save this VOD. Well, I will be saving the VOD, but part of me wants to show this VOD to a lot of my students because it makes so much what you're doing. And I don't know if this was calculated or this was intuition or whatever it may be, but I loved the part where you were so open about. I didn't get paid well, but that's not what the point is. This is not my dream job right now. This is a stepping stone. And so I'm going to gain the knowledge because that's what truly is the value. Too many people our generation, man. We're going to think of ourselves way too highly. I want my dream job, the first job out of college, or I want my dream job the first time I can get it. Or, who knows, maybe you apply for example, what is it on Twitch, it's partner, and you don't get it the first time and then you get demoralized. If again, the word dream is so abused that it's our wants versus our dreams are two very different areas. All right. If it's a dream, you're going to plug away. You're going to do whatever you have to do to get to where you're at. And so, TJ, man, again, at the young age of 21, to be doing what you're doing, to be experiencing what you are and will be experiencing is such a huge blessing. And that's so cool that your abilities have taken you where you are right now. I'm sorry, but I might have gone too far ahead. Are you still on your third job, or is this your combining towards your fourth?
So the Chiefs would have been my fourth. So I had actually no. So the Chiefs would have been my third esports organization, and I was at JB Hi-Fi at the same time. So I worked normally two jobs. I normally did like a real life in-person one where I could just make a bit of bank either in hospitality or retail, and then there was also that like progressive or stepping stone job, as you like to call it, which was a great analogy for it, which was in the esports. So that was Renegades to Atletico to Chiefs. And then after that, at the end of, sorry, I'm just going to keep going on my tangent.
Shoot, perfect. No, this is exactly.
At the end of my year last year, I was come forward to by an individual who had aspirations to be an influencer, and they it was a healthy family, I'd say. And they were putting forward an offer to me to move to Sydney with my camera equipment, with my filming equipment, with my photography skills and my editing skills and things like that, and have this 21-year-old who was a friend of mine from esports and gaming, and have him turn into an influencer and use my skills to create content for him so that he could stream to the highest quality, so he could make YouTube videos, so he could be Instagram popular, things like that, and almost like force popularity onto him. Unfortunately, like I'll start this. I did move down at the end of last year. We started off by going to America for a trip where we took photos in LA, California, and all those places over there. We went to an esports event over there, which was really cool. We stayed in nice hotels and stuff like that. And I thought that this was going to be dream job. I thought it was incredible. And no disrespect to him either. Like, I feel the things I might say here might sound negative towards him. I really like this guy still. I'm really good friends with him still, and he's a really good guy. Yeah. But it just didn't sort of work out in the end. And his sort of like his plan with it all, like I think it like had the right idea, but I don't think in theory it can work this way. You can't really like buy popularity. It doesn't work that way. Yeah. Even if you buy like the right people, like you still have to be the talent at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. And so I worked with him, and that was my full-time job for the past like it was like 6 to 8 months. Around the time that I started streaming was when I moved to Sydney, and I was accommodated by him as well, where I was in a place where I could stream and I could actually do things like that. And that was like a blessing in disguise, where I could actually start that streaming career and start like putting content online and doing things like that with the good enough internet. And I was also being paid well for it, and I was being able to invest in like new streaming equipment and things like that. And I was loving life, and it was great. It was awesome. And we also discovered a new thing as well, where we partnered up with 3 other individuals and created a company called Hypercarry. which is now the apparel company that I work full time on, that I also part own, and has been incredibly successful over the past 8 months or so, almost 12 months now, which has been really, really cool.
So let me get into that, all right? Because I am fascinated about someone who's starting a business in the middle of a pandemic. That's tough, and especially in your category of clothing. And I'm just fascinated by the business structure of it all. Where did this idea come from, and how quick between the conception of the idea to the implementation of your first day starting and making this full time?
So we weren't sure if this would actually work out, or this idea, but it came to us because we had a mutual friend, I'd say, who was the manager for a very, very popular content creator or talent in Australia, and it was coming up to their birthday, and we were talking about it and how we were like, because we were having meetings with them, and she was almost doing a bit of freelance sort of consulting for us to be able to grow this individual as an influencer. And we thought, hey, like, you're helping us out incredibly, this is really, really cool. And then she was also talking about like her sort of life and what she does as a job and where she works and stuff like that. And she brought up the idea of we've been talking to different suppliers and things like that to do merchandise for this creator that hasn't done merchandise before. And we were talking, saying, hey, we're actually looking at doing a merchandise thing for the Chiefs, because the people that we linked up with were the founders or the owners of the Chiefs at the moment, who had that Marvel connection and are doing a thing with Marvel and Disney. And so we were looking at creating a company for that specifically. But then we were like, hang on a second, what if we link up these two worlds here and put together a bit of an offering for that and do merchandise for this creator and see how that goes. And so I think it was our launching one. I'm not too sure. So was it? I think it was. So we did a few. This particular person managed a few different people who were talent in Australia, and we ended up getting them all signed under us, and then we ended up doing their apparel drops, and it ended up doing really, really well. We did a really good job of it. The apparel turned out amazing. The quality was top level and everything like that. The marketing was done correctly, and ever since then, we've just been working on those processes and progressing over time and just improving. And we've been doing it for about 12 months now, and we're kicking ass, and it's great. I love it.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Again, the intuition is where I think I'm blown away by this. Reminds me a lot of early college, business college, where people are like, I got an idea. But so often do those ideas fall into the cracks, whether for whatever reason, finances, insecurities, inabilities to focus. And so to see, again, I want to be able to gas you up on this. To be starting a business in 2020 is insane. It is insane. All right. I tried to start a business in 2018. And I had the economy on my side. Yours literally, the fact that you are not just surviving, but you are thriving during this era is, I think, it needs to be a testament of your talent, of your work ethic, and just how good the stuff is. It's very easy for people to just click and be like, oh, what the hell is this? I could do this. Do it. Try it. It. And you'll see how fucking hard it is. So good on you, TJ, man. I could see it. I see a glimmer of there's something businessy about you.
I also don't want to take all the credit either. A wise thing that I once heard was don't ever be the smartest in the room. So I've surrounded myself with 5 individuals now that are absolutely talented in their own aspects. One of them is an incredible salesperson. Another one is insanely intelligent at logistics and management, who was in the chat earlier today. And just a few other individuals that are insane at what they do as well. And then sort of what's that anime where they all combine forces and become that Megatron sort of thing? I feel like that's sort of how we see ourselves as a company. I can't remember. They become the big robot thing. I think it might be Power Rangers.
That's not an anime, my man. All right, how dare this man is saying anime to the Asian man across the street, and he's talking about Power Rangers. We're getting canceled, brother. This is it.
Not like this. No.
I knew it. I knew there was something suspicious. He vented right in front of us, guys. He vented right in front of us. We got him, boys. Oh, we got him. No. But you're right
Shit.
on that. No, you're right on that. And
Yeah.
and let me gas up your business partners too. It's of course you're 100% right. It's not just you, but everyone that's involved with this idea. It's a collaboration. I'm a big believer in partnerships. I think that's the way of the future. To think that you're a one-man band in business, you are literally going to burn yourself out. Your idea is not going to be done. I understand people are so attached to their idea, but you have to also be able to inspire those around you, aka your team. And so that's why I love that kind of wisdom you're dropping tonight, especially in terms of business and running one and being an entrepreneur. I think a lot of Twitch streamers, by definition, have that in their blood. That they're starting their stream, and especially those that are trying to make this into a bigger part of their lives. They're trying to figure out a way to expand on that. But
that's the other thing as well, is like I very much like, it might be a very frowned upon way of looking at it, but I very much see my Twitch stream and my sort of like content creation as a whole as a business in itself, and I treat it the same as I would any other business, and sort of how I do that. And like, I enjoy it a lot. I definitely do it for the passion. But there's nothing wrong with sort of like treating it with that business mindset and keeping an open mind about like the numbers and things like that, and like progression and growth and things like that, and actually looking at it from an analytical perspective.
Exactly. And I'm on your team on that. I would love to dispel the whatever feeling, that negative connotation that came up with people being like, I don't want to talk about the numbers. All right, well then don't talk about it. But that's not a universal, take. And so when I think about this, I agree with you. I think I also think of my streams as businesses, how it's structured, the professionalism of it. Though I will say the one thing that is not professional is the relationships. That I cannot. Because if you try to make your relationships similar to the outside business world, where you're selling these people some sort of idea or product or bullshit, it will come to surface. That is the one thing I've realized about Twitch. You cannot be a you can't be a YouTuber here. You can't be hey guys, so click the subscribe button and here, to another month, guys, to another. And it's disgusting. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
So you have to find that balance. But 100% when it comes to, and you said it at the top of the hour, you said it at the beginning of the stream, when it comes to providing the best quality content, when it comes to having your equipment be professional and top notch, when it comes to putting your best foot forward, or maybe the way you talk to people, whether it be fellow streamers or those that are watching you, you come correct. You come with the attitude that I am going to hold myself to a certain standard of professionalism. There's heck, even for one of my biggest things is like, I'm not trying to get my ass canceled. It's so easy to be caught slipping. Yeah, it takes one DM and you're done. Good night.
Yeah,
nice seeing you. So long. So yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I'm like, I don't want to shit where I eat. I'm keeping this 100, and I want to be able to be a gentleman and a scholar, both of which I'm not qualified.
Yeah.
Maybe the gentleman. I'll give myself the gentleman. Scholar-wise, I was not a good student, but I love that, TJ. So we've covered your work history. We've covered what what you do right now, which is so cool, dude. And that's a whole other. I would love to pick your brain after all of this and just talk about that on the side, because I love what you're doing with that there. But we come to the part of the evening, which is the most salacious of all the topics, the hottest topic around town. Mama Bird, you might want to mute this section. Give me 20 minutes. Because we are going to get into your romantic relationships. We're getting into your romantic history, Mr. TJ Bird. So again, from the top, how many people have you dated up until now?
One person.
Okay.
Only one. Yeah, only one.
Let me get a little comfortable here.
I've only ever dated one person. I never had any relationships during high school or primary school or anything like that. But then like towards the end of school, I started growing an interest in this one individual, and I started getting to know them. Then we went to that schoolies event where it was like sort of an opportunity where I could like kind of grow that in attachment to them and actually be quite close to them and sort of put out that extra effort and show that I actually really want to make something of it. And it ended up working out really well. I was with them for I think 2 years or so, or 2.5 years or something like that. until it actually went south pretty quickly in the sense that I got that job opportunity to move to Sydney. And she was not all for it at all. She thought I was making a terrible decision, not just for my career, but for my personal life. And she used the words, things like, "Oh, I'm the best thing you're ever gonna get," sort of thing. And, and like, you're making a terrible mistake. You're never gonna anyone like me. Like, you're making a mistake by moving there. And like, I don't know, like, I thought like that was like a super big red flag. Not in the sense that like she was saying that I'm not gonna get anything crap like that, but it was just like putting herself in my way as a blockade in terms of my career and what decisions I should make in terms of that. As someone that has no business experience at all in the past and is being very, very selfish about this sort of decision, which ended up leading to a lot of negative conversations and ended up falling out of not only like a relationship but also friendship as well, and has led to just complete drop of contact for the last 12 months.
Okay.
And so I haven't spoken, seen to, or anything like that for that long, which I don't know, sucks, but it's probably a blessing in disguise, I would say.
Yeah. Let's take a couple steps back. All right. When you first met this person, what was it about him? What was it about her that won you over, that got you enamored?
Ooh. I'd say like it was her like intelligence and the way that she spoke. I'm a bit of a sucker for people that are very literate, as ironic as it is to people that watch my stream and as illiterate as I sound. People that are very good with their words are normally come across as someone that's quite smart and quite intelligent and is normally someone that I can really get along with. And she was pretty attractive as well. So there's also that element too that helps. But yeah, no, I thought she was a bit of a smart cookie, but she was just a little bit selfish in that aspect.
So at what moment, you mentioned a lot of bars, you mentioned a lot of things that were red flags or things. What was the exact moment where you're like, oh, this is not going to work? This is a snowball going downhill and it is picking up speed.
She became very manipulative, in the sense that she like, it got really bad to the point where she would actually lie to me to my face. And just remembering this actually is insane to think about. Now that like, it's one of those things that you look back on and you're like, wow, what was I thinking? She would do this thing where she would message me and tell me that my friends were saying yada yada about me because I made X decision. So if I chose to go to a nightclub with my friends for one night instead of going out with her, or going to some event and not spending time with her or something like that, she would message me and tell me that I was making the wrong decision and that my friends, like my best friend and my parents and my sister, were contacting her individually and saying that they were saying yada yada yada. And I would speak to my parents and my friend and my sister and be like, what's this about? And they'd be like, I don't know anything about this. I've got not a clue. And so like, yeah, she was quite manipulative about that and like was speaking to my friends about me and like, she almost like started harassing my friends too. And was just like, when I got to the point where I was just like, all these red flags were popping up and I'm like, I need to take a step back. I can't do this.
Yeah. That shit's crazy.
She ended up like overreacting and just trying to like contact my friends and family every single like night and just being like, can you talk to TJ about this for me? Or can you do this? Or can you do that? Can you be that middleman? It's just like, no, just stop it.
Yeah. Leave it as is.
Yeah.
What did you learn from that relationship?
That's a curveball. I don't really know.
I try my best, Mr. TJ.
Yeah,
I give the people money's worth.
No, that's good. That's good. That's a value question. Yeah, shit. I don't know. Hey, I'd say just like kind of, if something's too good to be true, it normally is. And I started like, all these red flags started popping up very early. There was a lot of like conflict in terms of personalities and interests and things like that. Like she wasn't into gaming at all. I wasn't into like the sports that she was into at all either. There was a lot of like conflict there in terms of like values and ideas and sort of ways of communication as well. And I saw these red flags like 12 months in, 6 months in almost, and just kind of took the benefit of the doubt and just rolled with it. And I think I was too closed off in that circle or too afraid of being alone afterwards that I didn't take a step back sooner. So that I'm not the greatest with relationship advice, but if there was something I was to do, it'd be definitely to take a step back sometimes and just go, what are the positives and negatives of it? And the negatives outweigh the positives. Maybe have a good, strong consideration if this is a healthy relationship for you or if it is unfortunately toxic.
I love that you brought up one of the biggest insecurities that I don't think people are willing to actually say, which is I was just scared to be alone. And I'm willing to go through a hurtful and abusive and just unhealthy relationship because of that mentality. At what point, maybe it's a mindset, were you like, enough's enough and I deserve more? Was it when things started getting out of hand? Because I would love to understand that a little bit more, that overcoming of all of these things that have kept you back from breaking it off, all of these things that kept you back from taking a chance. And it's crazy because usually when we say taking a chance, it's taking a chance on that person, but rather taking a chance on another relationship.
Like it's tough for me to say because like I feel like with her, like I guess like it made it extra tough for me as well because I was punching above my belt. I was doing quite well. Like she was pretty attractive for somewhat of my standard.
I'm sorry, TJ, I'm gonna cut you off right there. Never, ever, never.
I'm being honest.
Well, I understand the honesty, but I'm not even here to gas you up and be like, you're pretty, you're a good-looking guy. Fuck that. What I'm telling you this: never put someone on a pedestal like that. Never, never. Yeah. That is not like that is absurd to me. Because the second you play that game of I'm punching above my weight, what does that do to your value as a person?
Yeah, it lowers my value drastically.
Exactly.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. But so you were punching
I was just trying to like buy into that. I was trying to like tie into that insecurity that you just mentioned before of the idea of being alone and not having like that same sort of level of relationship. And like unfortunately it has been like that. Like the last 12 months I've been a single Pringle and it's like I don't know. It's been not too great, but it's not been too bad either. You know what I mean?
Feel like
I've just been
go on. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say like I've instead of worrying about relationships or anything like that, I've 110% put my efforts into my work and my streaming. So
I see. A lot of people are saying that they disagree with you, though, that you have many women, multiple in one night. Was someone, I believe one of your business partners starts with an M,
here we go.
Mangi, said to pay him $20 if I wanted the inside scoop, and I'll need your Venmo. Anywho, out of pocket also has a huge guy. But I like that. I like the trajectory of where what you've learned so far in life in general. To bring home the segment, though, I gotta ask you about your present. Where are you romantically right now? I know you said you're single like a Pringle, but mentally, do you think you're ready to go back into that mode? If so, or if not, either way, what is your type of person that you're attracted to?
Damn, the Mums on Lunch dating show. Damn. Okay. No, I don't know. Hey, like I am like I'd say I'm like happily open to like get into a new relationship or something like that, but I don't know. I haven't like actively been looking, if that makes any sense. Like I've just been happy to like focus on my career and that's been suitable for now.
Is that the Mama Birds in chat answer, or is that the is that the truth of the matter?
Okay, if I'm okay, being called out, cool. No, if I was to be completely honest, I actually just haven't had the time to put into it.
Okay.
Like I wouldn't mind like if I had a little bit of extra time, or if I had that free time, or if I had like I don't know, the mental room to be able to just go and like, all right, maybe I'm going to put in like that extra 20%, 30% effort to go and find someone or actually go and meet someone. And unfortunately, pandemic has made that especially harder as well.
Are you swiping?
Sorry?
You swiping left or right?
Yeah, I guess so. But you just don't meet people. Like there's no parties. There's no like social gatherings to meet mutual friends or anything like that. Like Tinder and all those Bumble and shit like that. Like that they're okay, but like I don't know, it's not my cup of tea. Like you just you're kind of talking to someone, and then a lot of the time, like I think those just lead to a hookup, which isn't normally my sort of thing anyway. So I'd much prefer like if I was just like finally I'm gonna actually commit and try and find a relationship, but I also see like a relationship as a distraction at this point. And until I'm at a stable point where my career is just like I can literally sort of like take a step back from my career and be like, okay, cool, I can actually afford to have a relationship right now. But in terms of my time, I don't have I can't afford to have a relationship right now. It will take away from my work too much, I feel. So
perfect. Damn. Perfect. I love your, again, this man, you did prepare tonight. I could tell. This man is matter of fact. He's giving me, I'm waiting for your resume to come in on the Discord, my man. All right. This is how formal I'm seeing you. This is insane. But Mr. TJ, thank you so much for your life story, man. You've absolutely not just blessed the community here and all those that are watching, but myself especially, being able to sit across from you and share this platform, this moment with you. And just to hear you out, and especially having your mom in the crowd. I don't know if she's still here, but it was really cool. Like I'm
probably lurking, yeah.
Probably lurking, but I'm jazzed about it. All that to say, all the nice things being said, we're coming into the battle royale part of the evening. All right, they have been sending in questions, community questions throughout all of this. All right, and I'm gonna try my best to dodge some sus ones. But I apologize in advance if any do come through. Again, like I said, for the ones that are reactions, I'm just gonna read them aloud. You can react accordingly. Get your drink. I gotta take a piss too. So you
all right,
go.
I think that's a plan. Hang on. Do you want to go first, and I'll go after?
I'll go first. I know.
Okay, go first.
One more. Go ahead.
All right, cool. Yeah, I might need a single drink. Oh, his mum's here. Did I mention that? Okay, Jordy. How are we, guys? What's going on? Hello. I can actually see you guys now. I can talk to you. I was just about to read Jordy's message, just like blatantly out loud, but I took a step back from that one. I'm glad I did. Rum time. You're right, Mama Bird. It is time for a rumbo. I think for these questions as well, I definitely need a bit of a rum. So I gotta get rid of my notes now because the rest is gonna be off the cuff. Doing amazing. Thank you, Amelia. I appreciate it. Dude, honestly, so dope. Big respect. Thank you, Bambi. Thank you, dude. Like, compose yourself well, Teach. You're still a spanner though. Thanks, Maggie. Hey, mate, good shit, brother. Thank you, Hyphy. Thank you, Chili. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much for everyone that's just tuning in tonight or today and actually having a listen. My favorite color is blue, Noodles. Share some rum with the PLEs. What did you think of the TTS in the last half an hour of the stream yesterday? Oh, that TTS was fun, Chris. I love that. That was awesome. That was good fun. I really enjoyed that. But no, I like today's been like, oh man, I've actually just been loving just being able to like go as deep as I have and talk about these sort of things. It's been good. Hi, is TJ reading chat? I am reading chat. Mom's just gone to the toilet, so or the restroom, so I'm taking a little bit. Tom's online, yeah, that's right. Hey, Bank, what's going on? Hog Bank. But no, this has been really good. It's been really cool to like finally like as I said last time when we had like a little bit of a break before, have like a platform where I can talk about things, and it's been cool. And mad respect to Mom, so I can tell us just put the headset back on for providing that platform.
Too gassing. We could talk about that later, TJ. Go get some ice.
All right, I'll go
get what you need.
Get a drink real quickly.
And I'll try to distract them. All right, guys. How you guys doing? All right, yo, Banco. Thanks for the follow, guys. Thanks so much for sticking around. Coming through. Yo, what up, Charlie? Okay, moms, listen. Oh my gosh. That's the worst way to start any of these sentences. Say hi to me, moms. Hello, see you, Charlie. Jeez Louise. This is just hello. Yo, Hyphy. Hey, yo. I got you on the panels, like I said. All right, Hyphy. Official mom sponsor, man. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support, Hyphy. Moms, how old are you? I'm 27. Banco is the person who made the TJ. Yo, that's you? You made the diss track? That's fucking disrespectful, my man. But I loved it. You're actually great, Mom. I was thinking you have pushed the questions really well. Made him feel comfortable. I appreciate that, man. That's my job. That's what I got to do here. And hopefully I'm doing well and that you guys are watching. Hey, Mom, it's just Chris. How you guys doing? Here we go. Go ahead. Pour yourself the drink. All right, TJ, because I can promise you these questions are way too dang.
I might make it a little bit stronger just for that's like, there we go. A little bit of an extra dosh in there.
Appreciate that. Yeah, give it a little extra courage. So here they come,
for
all
it.
right? We're
Go for
starting
it.
at the top. Again, these are questions I have not vetted yet, and I'm going to try my best to. But the first and foremost question, okay. Okay. This one's nice. It keeps you out of it. Who would win in a fight? In your opinion, who would win in a fight? Crewy, Tunks, or Charlie? 3-way battle royale. What's going on?
Do I rank them first, second, third, or just who would win?
Let's start with who wins on top and then rank them.
I want to say Tunks. I think Tunks would come out on top.
I agree with
Then
you.
Crewy, and then Charlie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Charlie. I know, but
Yeah. Oh no, dude. Tunks is like, especially if you were like, if this was a bar fight, I feel like
Yeah.
it's over.
I think Tunks has got like that little bit of extra oomph in him, and he's
Yeah.
got like that footy sort of like. I think he was a bit of a tradie as well. He's got like more of that like sort of like tough nails,
Scrappy
sort of attitude. Yeah. Whereas like no offense to Crewy, he's got pretty muscles, but that's all he is. He's pretty muscles, right?
Yeah,
So
pretty face as well, but that doesn't
exactly,
get you in
yeah.
a fight. That doesn't win you in a fight. I agree. I'm sorry, Crewy. I'm so sorry. I have to call it down the middle. Not wrong. Thank you. But I like how unanimously we both agree Charlie's not winning this one. It is not.
Wait, someone get that emote of Crewy, Charlie in the chat, just like that.
Someone talking
the Charlie
shit,
buff one or whatever it is.
Oh my, that has kept me up at night a couple times there. Here's the next one here. It goes. Oh, I think you've answered this, but let's get this one more. Favorite mod smile? You have to say one or do a shoey right now.
Looking at my shoes. Nah,
Don't
I'm gonna say
even.
Raylene. I'm gonna say Raylene.
Beautiful. Why exactly? What makes a good mod in your opinion?
I think with Raylene, I have to give it to her. Like she's probably been like one of the ones that have been there from like the very start. And I was like, there's people that make like a good mod. Like there's good mods that actually do a good job in terms of moderating, but there's also like those good mods that are just extremely like loyal to your channel. And Raylene's one of those people that like I see is just like extremely loyal to the channel, is like there every stream, or if like I don't remember a stream that I don't see Raylene there. Even like if she's out with like friends or like a family or something like that, she'll even pull up the phone and say hi on the phone. Like the amount of like loyalty and respect for that, like I just have is insane. And that's definitely why I'd put Raylene as best mod for sure.
That's so cool. How do you feel about all the young people in your community? Do you have a plan to raise your average demographic?
Yep. No, I knew this one was coming. I was going to talk about this during the podcast, but I don't really know how to categorize it in. So like sort of a bit of a throwback to when we were having the conversation about like growing my young community. Yeah. It was a bit of a play on words in the sense that like my community is a very young sort of like, it's only been around for 9 months or so. It's also a very young demographic. And I think that's like, I think what that is from both of those things, in the sense that because my community hasn't been around for that long, there's no like structure to it yet that's been like refined or anything like that. And the other thing is too, is like, I feel like a lot of my connections in the industry and the Twitch space and things like in like the area, I feel like a lot of their audiences are quite young, but they have a lot of a bigger sort of size stream. So it kind of gets filtered out a little bit.
Yeah.
Sorry, excuse me.
No problem.
So I have a few friends like that are very popular Fortnite players. But because their viewers are up in the thousands, a lot of those messages kind of get filtered out. But when they come over to my stream, as a friend pops into my stream and raids me or something like that, they hang around and they see that, oh, this stream is actually interacting with the chat, and they stay around. But because they are that younger sort of person, I don't know. I think that's my theory on how it sort of started and happening.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do my best to sort of mature my audience a little bit. Don't really know the structure or the best way to do it yet. I think it will just come with time and sort of how I mold my community in terms of my Discord and my stream and my chat. Yeah.
I agree with you. But it's definitely like, you do have to figure your demographic. You know, who are you making your content for? And being very intentional with that. And that might put a certain ceiling, but that's also your bigger focus. You know, you don't want to, some people don't want to attract the world. And that's also the gripe of a variety streamer. That's the tough part, because one day you could be playing Fortnite or Minecraft and a kid will come in, The next day, you're trying to do something more mature or have just chatting conversations that have more depth, and that kid's not going to understand. And then you come in this space of like, how do I appease both? And it's kind of like if you try to be everything, you're nothing. So the real basis is what are you trying to do? Who are you? And how do you develop that crowd? I love that though. Okay, okay, I don't understand this. What's it like being cousins with Dream Was Taken?
Oh, that's just an inside joke, as I think was mentioned earlier.
Uh-huh.
That was a clickbait I did for one of my Minecraft speedruns. Because evidently I'm not terrible at the speedruns.
Yeah.
I made a joke just to have people click on the stream because Dream's the popular speedrunner in the States, I think. And he's got millions and millions and millions of followers. I think he's like the fastest growing YouTube and Twitch channel of 2020 or something.
Really?
Yeah, something crazy like that. He went from
cool.
about 1 million to 10 million in about 4 months or something on YouTube.
That's awesome.
But yeah, no, that's just an inside joke where I said my title like I'm Dream's cousin or something like that, and then it just became a joke every time I did speedrunning.
This man, just the clickbaits. He knows what he's doing. He knows it. This is marketing 101, ladies and gentlemen. This one's more of a comment. Cheese and cinnamon, smiley face. You want to provide any light on that?
Raylene, the mod I mentioned before, said I would smell like cheese and cinnamon, which is the strangest combination.
I could see it.
Yeah. What?
I could see. There's something. The cheese part, fine. The cinnamon is because your room's clean. She was drunk, she says.
Yeah, no, that's, yeah, no, I can
even
vouch
more
for that.
Even more honest thoughts, though. What has been your best moment on Twitch so far?
That's a good question. I don't know. Shit. I think like as a moment that I can remember was the egg one. I think that was just such an iconic sort of moment in my stream where the egg got cracked on my head. It wasn't that big of like that many viewers at the time or anything like that, but it was just a pretty cool sort of moment and just like a fun thing. And another one was like kind of random, but like I streamed from my home in Brisbane when I traveled back for like a week. And I streamed on like a very, very terrible phone camera stream with my mom in the background and stuff like that. And that was just a fun stream. That was just really cool. So I guess that was another good one.
Did your mom like being on stream?
No, she jumped in for like a second and then just ran away. So that's expected though. I think that's expected.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Next three are more quick, so get ready for these. First one, when is this OnlyFans being dropped?
That's a massive troll.
That's a massive,
never doing an OnlyFans.
There you
ever.
go.
Nope.
Okay, I don't understand that one. What's your sexy face, Poppy? I see having to read these aloud is probably the hardest part of the job. They want the diss track. They're like, give chat this diss track. Oh, the one from earlier. You can find that on Charlie's Twitter, guys. I think it's there. I'm not okay. This one's anonymous, so I can't even read that one to make any sense. Okay, good question here. Okay, so you seem very confident about yourself and who you are. How did you come about to be so happy and loving over your life about yourself? That's strangely worded.
Yeah, I'm trying to like dissect it and like sort of reword it in my own head. I assume you mean like I've found like sort of solace in how I'm going with my career and my life and my friends and relationship and stuff like that. And I think you're trying to ask like how I sort of see myself like that. Is that? I think that was the question.
Let's shoot like that. Yeah. How did you come about to be so happy and loving over your life and about yourself? Yeah.
I think like the core of that is find something that you're passionate about and find something that makes you happy. And if you can combine the two, that's even better. And so when it comes to me streaming and streaming work and a few other things like that, I'm passionate about all of them and they make me extremely happy. And so like I feel like I put a large investment into that. And then also like they're also hobbies that I've worked very, very hard to over the years to actually create a bit of like an income from. And that's everyone's dream, right? Is for their hobby to become their job. And like sort of speed running that a little bit or fast tracking that, I should say, has been really, really good. But it doesn't come to everyone straight away. But it's definitely helped my personal well-being and well, like living, I guess,
Awesome.
livelihood.
Can you be my older brother, please? Nice.
Sure. Sure.
Here's another one. TJ, why are you addicted to Minecraft speedrunning?
I thought the question would have been, why am I addicted to Minecraft and period? Speedrunning, I guess, in the sense is it's a very much like an addictive sort of thing. I actually made this correlation with speedrunning with the you know, the slots that you have at like casinos in Vegas where you like you pull down the thing and the flashy lights come up and you're like, oh, this one's gonna be a good one, or this next one's gonna be like a good one. Every time you reset one of your worlds, you're hoping that that village comes through, or you're hoping that like that spawn comes through next to the lava pool, and you're like, all right, come on, one more spawn. That's a good one. And you're just trying to work towards that better time. So not only have you got like that resetting mentality, but you also have that like that time that you're trying to beat, which is also like addictive in itself. So it's almost like a recipe to be addictive. But then Minecraft as a whole, it's like it was the first game that I like ever played. And it's literally come full circle, as you mentioned earlier, which has been really cool.
Another comment. Please adopt me into the bird family. I would like to be loved by Mama Bird. That's very sweet. That's very sweet. TJ, how happy are you with where you are right now in life?
I'm trying to find like the best way to answer this. Like I'm extremely happy with like myself, like personally, as like from a professional sense, but also like from like a personal sense, but also like I feel like I can improve in so many different areas. Like not having like a relationship or that soulmate or individual that I can kind of like relate to or talk to or be with has definitely sort of impacted me in the past like year. And then also like not really having that friend circle or anything that I had. And especially right now, I've like moved again in the past like 6 months to a different location, which is about an hour and a half out of Sydney. And so a lot of my friends that are in Sydney, I can't see as much anymore, which has also been a little bit more impactful on my mental. And COVID-19 has been like a really, really tough year for everyone. And so I've definitely found like a lot of happiness through doing the streaming as people I can like sort of connect to and be friends with and stuff like that. But it's definitely been tough, especially with like the Queensland borders being closed for the last 6 months or so, which is where I want to move back to home, back to family and friends. It's definitely made it a bit tougher on my mental over the past 6 months. But no, I'm definitely like sort of keeping my head above water from doing the streaming and keeping my mind occupied and busy with work and streaming. I think those are the two main aspects of my life right now that are keeping me happy and sane.
Nice. Got someone special in your life or someone you're talking to right now?
No, not really.
Not really is not a no, but all right. Interesting wording. Interesting words matter to me. All right, they do.
I do. No, it is like it's a very important. Like I answered it how I answered it for a reason. Yeah, like you're right, but it's also like
mom's the word. I got you.
Really.
All right, mom's online's the word. I got you. I got you. We'll keep it going. Have you ever thought about quitting Twitch?
Not really. I'm not really at that point yet. I know there is like a point at which like a streamer will start to reconsider like his choices and why he's streaming in the first place. I think I'm still trying to like develop that, and I see my stream as being quite young. I haven't come into really any roadblocks just yet to the point at which I need to or have thought about quitting. I think like you can definitely get into like a very deep downward spiral in terms of you let the numbers overthrow you or like consume you, which has definitely happened to me recently in the past as well, where I've looked at a decrease in my average viewership and I've looked at a decrease in my like followers per stream and things like that. And when you let the numbers consume you, like it eats you up whole and it doesn't spit you out. It just keeps chewing you. And that can be insanely tough on someone's mental. And it's been pretty tough on me recently as well, especially when I'd like have like an insanely planned out, like well thought together sort of stream and like had an idea to make this into a YouTube video as well. And then the stream ends up flopping or it doesn't go to plan and things like that. And as someone that works full time and then tries to stream for a minimum of 4 to 5 hours each night as well, it gets pretty taxing on my mental state, and it's definitely been a bit tough. But no, I've just got to eat like the spoonful of concrete and push through it. I think I haven't actually had the consideration of quitting just yet. I've thought about taking a break. I haven't even had the need to take a break just yet. Maybe 1 or 2 days off, but that's about it.
How do you deal with the mental health aspect of streaming then?
I guess like know when you're gonna burn out. I think that's something that you come acclimatized to like over time. You like start to kind of get an idea of like when you're coming close to burning out. Not even just in like the streaming aspect, but in working as well. Like if you're biting off too much, then too more than you can chew, then you're definitely closer to burning out. And if you can kind of predict that, and be prepared for that, then you can take the break at the right time and keep going forward.
Nice. What
Yeah.
streamers inspire you, big and small?
In terms, I'll go from like size, I guess. I'd have to say Ludwig is a massive inspiration. His content style, his growth, his storytelling, his character development in terms of his streams and everything like that. He's an absolute mogul. In the sense that his merch is named that, but in sense of like he's innovative with his content. He doesn't just follow the traditional sense of you stream, you create highlights, you cut together those highlights and you post them onto YouTube. He will actually go out of his way to record a video during his stream, 1 or 2 videos, maybe a 3rd video as well. He'll actually create that theme around that video with his characters that he lives with as well. And then he'll put that onto YouTube. And just the way he does his content and everything is very inspirational. And he's a very much an innovator in the space, which I look up to. In the sense of the local scene, as mentioned earlier, like I can't forget to mention Brody. Brody was that initial sort of like streamer that I came across. Funny enough, I met Brody a year before I saw his stream. I ran out. I was talking to him outside of a bar about some of the relationships that were happening within like the Twitch space, and I thought this was just some random dude that I was just having a chat with, like holding a beer. And then a year later, Angel Melly raided him, and I was just like, "Hang on, you look familiar. Did we have a chat outside of the GG Easy Bar in Melbourne, like 2018 in January?" And ended up being him, which was pretty funny. But no, I came a bit of a fan of Brody's stream and the sort of like way he did his stream. I've never like he was the first streamer that I really saw that read every single chat message. I thought it was shocking. I had never seen it before. As someone like his sort of size at the time, which was like 30 to 50 viewers, I'd never really come across anyone that had actually like interacted and had that like almost personal relationship with nearly everyone in his chat or anyone that was a part of the community. And I thought that was like really inspirational and really, really cool. And the fact that he also did his day job as well, and then would go home and stream that content and be really engaging, really entertaining, and do like fun games that he just enjoyed playing, which was really, really cool. And so yeah, I really like aspired to be like that, and I thought that was a really cool stream to sort of follow.
I think Brody's riches, while we all think of it, that term financially, I think his riches will be in his legacy. For however long he'll be here, for however long he decides to do this, and the day that inevitably we all tip our cap and walk away, it's going to be so like his impact on so many streamers from around the world, not even just Australia and New Zealand, is something that I deeply love and respect, and it's something that I hope to do the same, because that's a marking of a rich man, in my opinion, is that someone who works on their legacy, not so much to make ends meet or to to money grab. So that's so awesome to hear your mentality about that and your little lore behind each other's relationships. When you first left high school, how did you feel, and how did you gather yourself up to be an adult on and do things with life?
I assume that was a community question. I don't know. Like I've had like I don't like the word entrepreneur. I think it's like if you're calling yourself an entrepreneur, it's a little bit wanky. But I do see myself as literally like, I guess, like having those aspirations for bigger things. Like I always want to do the biggest thing or the best thing or go further in life or do better than other people and be like that little competitive or that sort of thing. And I guess that's sort of like led to why I've had those aspirations straight out of high school. Like I was thinking about my career in grade 9 or grade 10 during high school. Like I was ready to just get into the real world. I didn't really touch on university that much in the sense that I only did like 1.5 years, 2 years of uni, and that pressure from my parents to do university, I always like shoved it to the side in the sense that like that real world will like work. I was learning a ridiculous amount about businesses and how business is structured, how marketing works, how like you don't learn about sales decks and in uni, you don't learn about anything like that at all. And just like that whole new digital era is just such a unique and new sort of space that you don't learn it in a textbook. And so I was a big advocate for not doing uni as bad as it is. Like it depends on the space that you want to work in, but for me, I don't think it was suitable for me. I think I was much better off getting that experience and working straight out of school. And I tried doing that uni. I tried dropping it down to part-time, and then I just dropped it entirely and moved to Sydney.
Nice. How long until we see a DJ TJ stream?
I don't know. I got this a few days ago, so I'm still learning it. So probably.
What is? Oh, no way! You actually have a mix?
Yeah.
A table? That's sick. Nice. Oh, whoa!
I bought this 2 days ago, and so I just wanted to learn how to do some simple mixing. I don't know. I was messing around in Discord the other night with some friends, which was cool. And just kind of playing them, but. I don't know. With DMCA though, I'm not sure if I really wanted to play it on stream. I might happily pass that one.
You could. There are, surprisingly, here's a weird one. I just found out for some reason they don't take out Mac Miller songs, specifically the later ones. I was so shocked at that. Yeah, I don't know. Some kid was playing it and he's like, "No, they don't." And I also checked one of my VODs that I accidentally had way back when, I want to say a month ago, and they didn't cover it. So I'm just like, whatever, man. But either or, I don't know, you might be wise on not taking that shot, or you might want to make it a Discord event. That's what I think might work too. How did the idea for the business come about? How long did it take to set up, and how did it all come together in the end?
Like the business at the moment, like it's hard to talk about too many things because there are a few like sort of personal things I can't really touch on. I'm trying to like just work out how I can sort of like step around it or tiptoe around it, especially with a few NDAs in there as well. But basically, it was a group of us that met up before I moved to Sydney. We met up in Brisbane. We had a steak and chips at a bar, and we had a bit of a chat, and we had like a bit of like so what are your plans and what are your goals from that side of the group, and then what are ours like sort of like ideas and aspirations and what we want to try to achieve, and like what we can provide and what they can provide. And then we ended up forming the Hyper Group, which is 6 of us now. And we're starting off with the Hypercarry apparel arm, which is what we've been working on for the last 12 months, but we don't look at ending there either. So the beauty of what we're doing at the moment is that we're looking to expand outside of that in the future and not just be a clothing company. So that's the whole idea of it anyway. But how it started, we just saw an opportunity in the market where there's not really like that Australian provider for merchandise for YouTubers and stuff like that. So we did do that, like the shoot your shot sort of email to big influencers, and now we do the apparel for creators like Fresh, Josh Dub, Mully, Juicy, the X2 twins, Angel Melly, and some other creators as well like that.
That's insane. That's so cool. Awesome. One here. It says how did you change as an individual from high school through to the relationship up until now?
I think maturity has got a very big part of it. I think like that's tough because I don't really reflect on that too much. It's like kind of hard to say. I think the relationship kind of loosened me up a little bit too much. Like instead of kind of like tying off any loose ends in the relationship, I almost like got a bit too comfortable and ended up like being a little more lenient with a lot of things. But then once that was over, I kind of like put my head back in the game and was able to focus on things and actually get my head screwed on and focus towards things. And I hear this from a lot of people actually, and I hear this from my parents' friends especially, is the fact that they they feel like they meet a different person now that they've met me after like a year or two. Like that same individual that they met 2 or 3 years ago, they feel like they're speaking to like a 5 to 10 year old like older individual now, as like more of a man or a grown up. And I guess my maturity's just increased over that time. I don't really know how to quantify it, but it just has. I guess that's just a part of growing up, right?
Bro. The next two here, I'm going to read their more comments. Hey, Big Bird, so proud of you and how far you've come. I'm so grateful for all the laughs and cries, and thanks for making my after hours on Twitch a good time. I love you forever and ever. Heart. Yes, you owe me ice cream sandwich at TwitchCon. LMAO. The next one there is TJ. You helped me loads when I had that breakup. Don't doubt your ability to give advice, because I probably would have stuck in that relationship longer. This would hurt even more. You're a good big brother and a good close friend. There. These ones you just kind of have to sit in. Yeah. Oh, wow.
That
You
was
heartless.
just like I don't. Okay, so I try my best not to give that much relationship advice on stream, because I've got like I'm just a kid that's had one relationship and literally like it failed because I chose the wrong person, right? Like I don't see myself as giving the best relationship advice. I kind of just like to give common sense advice, I think is the best way to put it. And if I can give common sense advice, then that just helps a little bit, I guess.
But see, you don't need to be qualified to listen. That's the thing.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah.
And I think to listen and to give an outside perspective looking in, especially when you don't have the biases of knowing everyone that, you know, personally and entrenched in all the storylines, then you can really make that call justly, in my opinion. But again, just an opinion there. Just a theory, a game theory. Explain.
Game theory.
Yeah, you had to. I had to. Right?
I read that.
I'm gonna ask you this once, because there are a lot of questions here, and I don't know how you want to dodge around the subject. I know that it is something to be dodged, but explain who Lucy plays is in relation to you, smiley face.
Just friends, or as the Twitch term is, just just friends. I was gonna say just friends. Yeah, let's just say friends.
But do you know that song by Biz Markie, TJ? Are you familiar with that song?
No, I'm not. Sorry.
When you say he's just a friend, when you say he's just a friend, oh baby, that's gonna get me copyrighted.
Yeah,
but
that's gonna. Yep, DMCA is just.
I'm just curious. Yeah, just curious about that. It's fine. No further questions. No further questions. I'll let you. Hey, off the hook. All right. I'm willing to get muted on that one if that's that. But
fair enough.
Let me ask this. Random. You can give it a yes or no on this. Do you fart? Of course. But this man is just too pleasant.
I don't fart. I'm a god amongst men.
There it is. I like it.
So.
Hey TJ, on days when you may be feeling down in the dumps or whatever, what do you do to put yourself back on track and have the right line of thinking or whatever? Is it think or how much Bambi loves you? Heart, Bam.
Wait, that had so much potential at the start, and then it just became Bambi's jumble of words at the end.
Well, it was that was in parentheses, so you still got the main idea. You know, how do you pick yourself up after a tough day? You know, how do you get your mind right?
I think it's tough. There's two ways to do it. Like, this is how I sort of see myself. Is like I'll either think about it and let the internal thoughts consume me, or I can keep myself distracted and work hard towards something. And I think that's like the way I've gone by life, is to take each day as it comes and work towards something greater than yourself. And if you have those bad days, I don't know, like it's great to have someone to talk to about it, and that sometimes helps, but also just kind of keep yourself distracted and do things that like make you happy, motivated, and push forward to the next day. And I think that's what really helps me. It's essentially like my work, and just like if I can do something that I'm passionate about, and like actually no, instead of my work, I'd say that like my content creation is something that I can do to like really escape it. And I've had like bad days. I edited a YouTube video and I felt incredible. I was really proud of what I achieved. I thought the video was great, and that made me feel a hell of a lot better. So there's something that makes you happy and keeps distracted, I think.
Other than your family, TJ, who are you most thankful for?
I think I'd say like the people that I've surrounded myself with, like my especially my close friends in like real life, and then also like the gaming and esports world. Like I've done like a weird shift in the gaming world from esports to like the Twitch sort of space. I'm not as a part of the gaming of the esports sort of industry as much as I was, but I've surrounded myself with such great people in both the esports world and the gaming world and the Twitch world, that I'm just so thankful to have like all these people that I can not necessarily lean on, but go to if I ever want to have a chat and just like be really good friends with. And it's been amazing. Especially to everyone that's like extremely close to me, which has been really cool. Especially as well while I'm not in Brisbane and I'm not home. I'm not in a place where I have all those people that I grew up with. It's I'm in like a sort of new world here down in Sydney. And it's been like that for a year. So having those people around me, like Crewy in person as well, and all those other guys that I can sort of hang out with and have beers with, has been really great and awesome for my mental as well. Yeah.
Um, I'll try to read you a couple more. There are quite a few. And I'll try to get to the ones that are mainly focus based questions here. But of course, I have to read the nice ones as well, the nice paragraph ones. Hey TJ, just wanted to start with saying I'm a really big fan. Not sure if there is a stream tonight, but I really hope so. You inspire me to do my best at school every day. My mom said if I pass my grade 8 science exam with an A, I get ice cream after school.
Ice cream. Yep.
I've asked myself, what would TJ do? And I knew what I had to be done. I'm a bliss this exam and cop the ice cream. Smiley face. Thank you for your inspiration, TJ. Your least favorite mod. Bye.
I'm glad I could be an inspiration, and I hope you get the right ice cream flavor.
True. What's the right ice cream flavor, please?
Cookies and cream, of course.
That's the truth. That's a truther.
That's also a copy pasta, by the way.
I see. Oh wow, wow! I read that with so much emotion.
I
You
know,
guys have
I know. When
wasted
I was like
my
so
talent.
invested in it, and then I heard
Yeah.
the grades at school, and I knew instantly.
Damn
I'm
it.
like, bugger.
This man Pi wasted my voice for that one. Who would get the better speedrun time, Charlie or Crewy?
Crewy will be satisfied if he could actually finish Minecraft to begin with, never alone a speed run. So I'll give Charlie that one. But I think
Alright.
Tongues has Charlie's number in the entire race, though.
Oh, true. That's gonna be interesting to watch. How do you deal with all the negative people that come into your chat, TJ?
Unfortunate. I think I'm fortunate enough I don't get that many negativity,
Mhm.
like negative comments or that much negativity in my channel. A lot of the time, like it kind of just like it either just goes unrecognized and just like gets disappeared from mods and stuff. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I don't really find that much negativity on Twitch, which is great. It's good. There's like a little bit like I see M's message, and M always comes in my chat and just like talks shit and has fun. But like
Yeah,
that's
true.
banter. That's fun. Like you can have fun. You can be like you can have parody like banter and stuff like that. Like it's good. It's fun. It's healthy. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
it's never negative. It's always just for fun.
This one, it had so much potential, and then is a jab. It goes, "How is TJ so attractive? What keeps you motivated to have that physique and not be built like a pool noodle like Charlie?" Just so out of nowhere, an RKO out of nowhere attack, and I had to read it. I had to. Wow, that's not a
Damn,
question.
genetics really suck, hey?
It's brutal. It's brutal. All right. So at least he's got flotation devices attached to his arm.
That's true. That's
true. That's true. All right. He'll always have fun at the beach. Not a question, but I wanted to let you
Okay,
know
Charlie.
that you have an amazing smile, and I love you so much. An actual question though here goes into the. Geez, Louise, they are not pressing down. What do you have planned for future streams or ideas?
I think like the future of my stream will end up moving away from I wouldn't say like moving away from gaming content, but becoming more of a blend with gaming and real life sort of concepts and ideas. God going back to what I mentioned before when it came to my inspiration with bigger streamers, Ludwig does this in the sense that he excels in the area that's not just like jumping on and doing gaming videos. He'll actually go on and like try every single type of Australian snack as an American, or he'll go on and rate every single Pop-Tart that America has or something like that. And he'll actually set up the big white table and sit there with his girlfriend and talk about that. And I think that's really cool. And I can definitely see myself as one of those people that jumps on and rates every single type of flavor that Shapes do. Not necessarily like taking from Ludwig, but sort of like taking his ideas and building on them and creating more interactive, real life sort of like personality type streams and content rather than just like the day to day like gaming and Minecraft and stuff like that. But the problem with those is they require a lot of planning, and planning is time, and time is money. And
True.
Time is one of those things that I just don't have a lot at the moment, which is like I'd wish for nothing more than to sit down and plan out like an entire month's worth of streams. On this day, I'm going to be doing a challenge. On this day, I'm going to be doing a speedrun competition. On this day, like this is the storyline for this stream. That requires a whole like weeks advanced to be able to plan that sort of stuff up, which is tough.
I agree. Let's read 3 more. All right. Let's see here. It goes, I'll do 3 more questions and I'll try to see the ones that are nice. In terms of longer questions. Holy cow. These are like, okay. How do you make friends, TJ?
Like recently it's just been like through mutual friends, I guess. I think mutual friends is like the best way to make friends. And going to events, not necessarily events, but like parties or like social gatherings where you can actually interact with other people and get to know like friends of friends and other friends like that. Like I guess that's like the main way I've made friends in Sydney is just by going to different sort of events and occasions and actually getting to know different people that I don't normally know. And I've met some really cool personalities and some really interesting people that have different sort of stories and backgrounds as well, which has been really cool. And if you're not really that sort of person that likes being like that extroverted and wants to would rather stay inside and just kind of like stay on their computer, Twitch is a great place for that. Like the amount of friends that you can meet in different sort of chats and communities, like not just my own community, but like Mom's community or anyone's community. Like there are so many different people and great personalities in each one of those communities that you can get to know and be friends with.
The last 2 here goes, who is your favorite colleague and why is it Mangy?
Mangy.
Mangy just got your number.
Yeah, he does. He really does. No, I've known Mangy for a long time. I've traveled overseas with Mangy twice now. We've got lots and lots of stories, and I don't know. We've crossed paths once before, like 4 or 5 years ago, and we crossed paths again to work on Hypercarry, and it's been a pleasure, and I love working with him. It's been good.
I like that. Do you have any regrets about streaming?
It's pretty time consuming. I'm not gonna lie. Like there's some nights where I wasn't always doing daily streams or trying to do daily streams. I was trying to do like 2 to 3 days a week streaming to start off with. I did that for like 6 months, and then I was just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna full send and get the daily streams because I'm not getting like the growth that I was after. And if I'm not putting out on YouTube or any other platforms, Twitch is my only platform, and to do that, you need to stream every day or consistently, at least. And so, I guess like now, whenever I take a night off, it shocks me like either how much like time I have in a night, and I look at the time and it's like it's only been like an hour past the time I would have started stream, which would have felt like all night. And without my stream, I feel kind of lost at home, and I'm just like, what do I do? Do I watch a movie? Like this normally keeps me occupied as like a thing I consistently do and like a routine that I'm stuck into. And then like it's great to take those nights off, but I feel so lost and not sure what to do anymore. So there's that.
It's hard to even just talk to people IRL because I get into this streamer mode of talking, and I was like, oh shoot, you get a rebuttal to my face. All right, let me let me connect to this.
Yeah.
What has been your worst moment on Twitch, and how did you bounce back?
I think my worst moment on Twitch, like it's only happened like once or twice now, where I've actually gotten to the point in a stream where like I think the anxiety of views were down, was building up. The planned content that I had scheduled for that stream wasn't working out. I wasn't like, I think like what happened was it was an Among Us game. Among Us is a very frustrating and tilting game anyway.
Oh yeah.
And I had this planned out idea where Among Us content was popping off. I wanted to make a video out of it. I'm actually kind of decent with Among Us, like off stream. So I was like, let's transfer that onto stream. Views were down. I was like, not really feeling it. I was overtired. And then everything just kind of built up to the point where I'm just like, I'm done with stream tonight. I gotta kill it. I gotta cool it.
I'm out.
And I don't want to be that person that like quits stream midstream. It's tough. You know what I mean? Like, it hurts, but I don't know. Sometimes you just got to take those nights off and take a step back and go, hold up, let's get a reset here, and then we'll come back tomorrow fresh and clean.
The last two here says, TJ, not a question, but thanks for being an amazing person I can look up to, and you have helped me through so much this year, and I'm so goddamn proud of you and the community. Thanks, Chris. The last one over here, the last one it says here is, hey TJ, thank you for allowing me into your community. Thank you for always being there for me. Thank you for being amazing and so full of personality in life. Thank you for just always being amazing, TJ. Big love from your number one supporter, Heart. P.S. If you don't know who your number one supporter is, I will be sad. Who do you think it is?
Bambi.
There it is. I don't even know, but I hope it is. I hope you're right. All right. I hope you're right.
I'm pretty sure it's Bambi.
Mm-hmm. Fair play. Fair play. All right.
Oh, Natty. It was. Oh shit! I got it wrong.
Damn! Wow,
No,
Natty, not the number one supporter. Sorry.
Okay,
lady.
hang on. Okay, I don't like to rank anyone as the number one supporter or anything like that. I know Bambi likes to pull off this persona as the number one supporter, as he literally signs off every message with that. But Natty, I appreciate the kind words. Thank you.
Well done. Well done. Beautifully done, TJ. I'm fucking impressed by how you are able to sashay around everything here. You're doing great. You've killed it. Here's the thing, all right? You've been fantastic throughout this whole evening. From your life on Twitch to your life story to these community questions, is fantastic. And I honestly, I'm very blessed to have you here. And I'll get to that at the very end. But much like anything in life, nothing is for free. So you're going to have to do two things for me, Mr. TJ, right before we head off to our last segment of the evening. The first thing is this. You have the stream open?
Yes.
All right. Can you go and check who's watching? And can you check for me? Can you name anyone? Name anyone in the chat that's watching right now that isn't a current mod, VIP, or myself.
I feel like I thought about this one earlier because I did watch the intro to the stream, and I have to give it to one person.
Uh-oh.
Only one person. And I feel like it's deserved. I feel like their support to not only my stream, but also my community and your community as well, mums. I got to pick Charlie.
There it is.
Charlie's
See you, Charlie.
just an absolute legend. Goat. He deserves the VIP. He showed this love earlier.
There it is. See you, Charlie. You got it. And you know the rules, Charlie. You know the rules. Everyone knows the rules. Okay. One moment. Let me actually type it in. VIPs. I have 5. Charlie, I'm going to need you to pick one right now. I'm going to need you to pick one of these names, any of them, to take out. Just take them out. Just take them out. All right, Charlie? Just do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. Uh-oh. And here's Apple with a smiley.
Apple's like...
It would be a shame if it was me. I'm over here watching. Pick any of the ones who are female. I don't really know. I'll be honest with you. I don't know who is or not.
Yo, squad W, Charlie. What the?
Yeah, jeez Louise. Jeez Louise, Charlie. Pick any. Pick any. Gorilla? What?
It's the whole fucking train wrecks meme. The gorilla.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Charlie's very much in with the lingo and the Twitch culture.
Yeah, I could tell. We've had a big conversation about this. Ark, you got it. Ark, you're out of here. Sorry, bub. All right. Ark BRE65. And we will do that later. All right. And Mr. TJ, the second thing you got to do for me, all right? We talked about this. We talked about it. For some reason, so many streamers are caught off guard when they hear this. And they're like, what? I got to nominate someone? You've been through the ringer with me. You've gone, what, almost 4 hours with me,
Yeah.
all right? So you've gone through that experience. Who would you want to see enter the arena here? Enter 1v1 with moms and get to know the life story.
I was having to think about this earlier. You're right. It does put people on the spot in the sense that like it is a big time commitment. And if a lot of time people are like that are streamers are normally quite busy with multiple gigs. But no, I think the chat's right. I think I will nominate Evada for this one. Evan. He's he's a very loyal sort of streamer. He's got a good heart. He's got his mind in the right place. He's very got very good aspirations for the streaming career, and I think he'll do really well.
Let me write his name down. So I went for Evada, correct?
Yeah, Evada with 2 eyes.
Perfect. All right. Awesome. Nice. All on the sticky note here. So
Perfect.
here's the thing, Mr. TJ. All right, you've told us about your experience on Twitch. You've given us your life story. You know, as much as we were able to fit into this tight window of time. I don't think it fully encompasses the person, as well as you were able to answer some town hall questions from the community here. But we are creeping into the end of the show, and much like anything in content creation, originality is something that is very, very difficult. It often does not exist. And this show is no different. It's actually inspired. I don't know if you know this. It's inspired by the show Inside the Actors Studio. It's an old school show. I don't expect any of you guys younger than 25 to know it. But essentially, this man, James Lipton, brought on actors, actresses, entertainers of the sort. And for a moment, he would get into their life. He would talk about their personal life, their discography, all the stuff that culminated into their successful career. And as an homage to that man, he passed away a couple years ago. I took the reins, and that's where the show came from. I was in a hospital bed writing my ideas down, and this is where it came. And after 5 practice shows, here we are on 34. It's been my extreme pleasure. And mind you, I only stream 3 days a week. And one of those days is now a different show. But it's been an extreme pleasure to have you on here. And so per tradition, I end this same show with the exact same 10 questions that he reads to every one of his guests that he's had for 23 years. Now, there are only 2 rules to this, TJ. The first rule is that I will not react to any of your answers. I'm going to stay quiet. I'm going to wait for you to have a pause, and then we'll move on. The second thing is I am going to ask you to have it's not necessarily a one-worder or a whole paragraph, just one idea. You know, you can finish your idea, but just share one idea of your answer, and that'll be it. After that, we'll say our dues, and I will, we'll go our separate ways and go from that. All right? You ready, Mr. TJ?
I'm ready, sir. Let's go it.
All right. Question 1. What is your favorite word? What is your least favorite word?
No.
What turns you on?
Intelligence.
What turns you off?
Stupidity. The polar opposite.
What sound or noise you love?
I love the sound of rain. and like storms over a night sort of sky on top of the like tile roofs and metal roofs.
What sound or noise do you hate?
Loud cars and busy roads.
What is your favorite curse word?
Fuck.
What profession, other than your own, would you like to attempt?
That's really stumped me a little bit. Shit. Probably like, oh, I don't know. Maybe like teaching or something.
What profession would you not like to do?
I guess like sports and athletics and stuff like that, like professional sports.
And lastly, Mr. TJ, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
That you made the most of your life to 100%.
And there it is. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tjbirrd. Thank you so much for joining us. Holy cow, dude. Holy cow.
Thank you,
honestly.
Mums. It's been an honor, man. Thank you very much. This, as I was saying, like in between some of the breaks, like it like telling my story and like and having like a platform to be able to tell your story to is very like sort of hard to kind of like find a way or find like a platform to be able to like actually explain it and talk about it. And having your platform here is just incredible, and it's been really, really great. And I've loved being able to tell my story today. And I thank you for providing this platform for content creators and streamers and just individuals as a general to be able to tell their story and talk about it and share it with people. So yeah, thank you.
Let me make sure that I can also do the same and gassing you up. This is usually my ritual. Is right before we go, I like to have my last impression. But you know, TJ, if there's anything I've learned over the course of this evening is that I think wisdom comes from a lot of places. And your story is that of resiliency, you know, very much chasing your passions, chasing your dreams. And even with very close people in your lives that may have, you know, reservations or concerns, being able to rise to the occasion, believing in yourself so much in what you do that you're willing to shoot your shot, do whatever it takes to get to the next step. Not necessarily be there yet, but to get to that next step, to take that step forward, that leap of faith. And you know, TJ, it's really, I know I've said this before, it's a testament. It's a testament to who you are as a man. And this is going beyond Twitch. This is going beyond content creation. It's even going beyond your own job. Because the person that I've been able to share this moment, this past couple hours with, is someone who you remind me of what I wish I was as a student. You remind me.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And I say that I hopefully in the least not condescending, the least like egotistical manner, because I love what you're doing. I love the fact that your trajectory in your career, that has been one of the most, if not the most fascinating stories I've heard on this show in terms of being at the young age of where you are and even Mama Bird is chiming
Dude, she's
in.
doing the BT. I've
She's
never
hitting-
seen that. That's
that
the first time I've
is-
seen her be BTTV.
That
Wow, that's an exclusive first.
I'm usually in the mindset, but that one threw me off once I
That
saw
one threw
Mama
me off
Bird.
as well. I couldn't stop smiling. What the- that one's actually pretty funny.
That hit
Oh.
different. That hits different
Yeah, that
when
was
you see
pretty
that
good.
from.
Yeah.
But dude, I see a lot of greatness in you, but I see a lot of good most of all. And so I encourage you, as much as you've been kind to say the words to me too, and I'm gonna keep trucking along as much as I can. And I do plan on staying in touch, Mr. TJ. We have another show that I know you're aware of, or hopefully are, the network. Would love to have you there in the near future.
Absolutely. No, for sure.
but-
Have a few
but
beers. I'd love it. Yep.
well, it would be an honor. That's on me. But absolutely, TJ, whether it be on Twitch, your entrepreneur careers, or whatever passions that life takes you, man, I'm excited to be along for the ride and to watch you grow. Again, not just as a content creator or a professional, but as a human being, because I think you've got a lot of great in you, my man. I want to be able to support you and gas you
I
up
appreciate
way.
that, Mums. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Of course, of course. All right, my man. You take care. Are you streaming
Cool.
tonight, or is that a no?
I might give it an hour and see how we go. You know.
We can give it an hour. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's not
Yeah,
bad.
we'll see. We'll see.
All right. Fair play.
All right,
All right,
cool.
Mr. TJ. You have a great night.
Thank you very much, Mums. I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Have a good one.